Stadium in Asbury Park, New Jersey for the A7FL Games of the Week across A7FL.TV, DAZN, and Stadium. Hello everyone, I'm Matt Ryan, and in just a moment I'll be joined by Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond as we prepare for the Silk City Animals to take on the Trenton BIC in a battle of two of the top four teams in the A7FL's Northeast Division. If you're watching the A7FL for the first time and you're wondering what is the A7FL, we are 7-on-7 football, no pads, no helmets, full contact action, and we have 26 teams across the United States looking to battle for the A7FL Championship this July. But also, we don't have any kicking in the A7FL. Instead, we have the 3-on-1 throw-off. That's for the replacement of kicks and punts. And also, you can score a 1 or a 2-point conversion from the 5-yard line or the 10-yard line, respectively. Before we get granular on this game, let's take a look around the A7FL. First, in the Eastern Conference, in the Northeast, it is a 4-way tie with Baltimore winning via tiebreakers. At the top of the Northeast, they are followed by the Trenton BIC, the Patterson U, and the Silk City Animals. And below them, the East Orange Renegades, who are in Baltimore to play the Watchmen a little bit later on this afternoon, and then the Rahway Snow Tribe and DC Buzz at the bottom of your screen. They will be our 7 o'clock game alongside the Force and the OTT. In Florida, the Tampa Nightcrawlers, with rumors swirling about potentially featuring Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, former New York Giant, in their secondary. They are joined by the Orlando Ghosts and the O-Town Orange, who are facing off this afternoon in Florida. Now we take a look over to the Western Conference. The Ace and the Vibe in Los Angeles looking to get sharp for the playoffs in Nevada. It is close and it's contentious. The Insomniacs at the top of the list. They are undefeated at 5-0. Below them, the 4-1 Sick-Witted, the 3-2 Force, and Kryptonite. They will be in action against the Pit Bosses. The OTT, also 3-2. Behind them, the Hunters riding the last spot in Nevada, and the Gold and the Pit Bosses looking to play spoiler. In Ohio, the Chaos march towards the Ohio Championship. They will be playing the Olatangi Volcanoes, who are 1-4, above the QC Crush, who they defeated last week, and the Covington Heist in second place. They are 4-1. They battle the Crush a little bit later on this afternoon. And our look at the 2022 playoffs starts off with the top left corner. The number 1 seed Insomniacs are now slated to play the number 4 Kryptonite. The Sick-Witted have a date with the Force. That is if they're able to beat the OTT and win out for the rest of the season. At the bottom of the bracket, the Santa Monica Vibe will host the OTT, and the Los Angeles Aces will host the Hunters. If the schedule maintains, we will be off next week for the holiday, but we'll be back on May 21st with the ultimate week of the A7FL 2023 season. Let's take a look at the Eastern Conference. The Patterson U and the Rahway Snow Tribe are currently settling up to face each other in a couple of weeks in the opening round of the playoffs. That is if the Snow Tribe can defeat the Buzz at our game at 4 o'clock. In Florida right now, it's slated for the Nightcrawlers to face off against the Orlando Ghosts in the Florida Division Championship. And right now, it's the Silk City Animals and East Orange Renegades at 4-5. They'll play each other. Right now, it is the Watchmen and the BIC holding the all-important bye into the divisional round of the national playoffs, which start a couple of weeks here on A7FL.TV and DAZN. Now let's take a look at how we got here for both these two teams. First and foremost, for the Silk City Animals, a bounce-back week for them. Have not won off a loss since 2019. Are they in the upper tier? A win shocks the playoff system and the rankings. And the Animals here looking to shock the system this afternoon. And Peak meets Valley. Can the young talent led by Quattro Huffin meet the BIC at their level today, or will they be dragged into deep water? And speaking of the BIC, how do we get here for the BIC? Well, they've been scoring like monsters. In their last 2 games, they've outscored their opponents 112-18. and that's off the backs of Sterry Codrington being Sterry accurate. 62% accuracy in 2023, and they still have missing pieces. We've not seen Verardi in a few weeks. We've not seen Courage Mosey. We've not seen Matt Riddick. When all of those pieces come into play, potentially in the playoffs, we might see these pieces today. It will be a lot of trouble. The problem is the solution for the BIC, and it will not be a fun time for any of their opponents come playoff time if they step on the field. And now let's talk about the receipts of it all. Let's go back to when Quattro Huffin was on the 3-on-1 podcast and talking about how the BIC won't go back-to-back.
Honestly, I think by me switching the playbook up this year and nobody really know what's going on, they don't know none of the guys on the Animals, probably like the veterans. I think it's going to be way more complicated, and I'm going to have way more fun. Like I said, I'm just do a little bit more extra, put a little bit more work in, but I'm going to show my team in this league, it doesn't matter where I go. As long as hard work and dedication and chemistry, that's all you need. So all of running it back-to-back, nah, that's not happening. Even if we don't win the championship, BIC's not running it back-to-back.
Really?
Yeah.
What makes you say that?
Overconfident. Now, if you think about it, what? They beat the U one time. Oh, well, they won the championship last year. Beat them 3 times in the season. But really, when have they been to the championship other than, when they lost? Was 2020, 2021, they came in, all right, they lost. 2022, they came back, they got it back in blood. I like that. But it's not really the whole team. You just shut down certain players. The BIC is a regular team. People don't know that. So they team talk a lot. It's just certain players on that team you just got to shut down. It's going to be fun this year. People is really going to get exposed.
We are looking live at Asbury Park Stadium in Asbury Park, New Jersey, where we say hello again for the A7FL Games of the Week. I'm Matt Ryan, joined alongside Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond as a battle of 2 of the top 4 seeds in the A7FL's Northeast face-off. The Silk City Animals taking on the Trenton BIC. Rob, Corey, the energy about this game is like a playoff game. We are in a situation where both of these teams can pave their own destiny to the playoffs, because right now, as you saw during the countdown to throw-off, it is the BIC in the 2 seed. There you see the Silk City Animals walked into last week undefeated, lost to the Patterson U in a monsoon. It is a beautiful day here today in Asbury Park. Rob, what differences will we see from the Animals this week that we didn't see 7 days ago?
I mean, we'll see cleaner play. We'll see more accurate. We'll see some throws. More accurate football throws. And, we're not dealing with windy conditions. We're not dealing with rain. The elements are out. It's just a little bit of heat and a cool breeze. And if you can't play football in that, you probably shouldn't be playing football at all.
And the weather from last week gives the Animals the ability to kind of throw that game away. It got a little out of hand in the score when you look at it.
Right.
And this is a team that doesn't not only want to make the playoffs, they have clinched a playoff berth.
Right.
They want to prove to the league that they're on that upper echelon. And earlier parts of the season, the way the schedule broke is they're taking care of business and really putting it on some teams. And then when they played the U, that was their prove-it game.
Right.
With the weather, they throw it out, and now this is the prove-it game again, based on how they play and how competitive they are against the defending champs. I think will say a lot about where they are in this regular season, headed into the playoffs with hopefully a lot of momentum.
And both of these teams are in the playoffs. The Animals will get the ball first. Smart move there to start the game with the ball. Put the ball in the hands of Quattro Huffin.
Indeed. Avoid Ashanti being on the field first to cook you. He's not going to drop it this time because it is not raining and windy. It's not a monsoon. He can catch it.
I mean, if he does, then it's your jinx.
Bebo will return it inside the 20, and here we go on an untimed down. Drives through a defender, puts the shoulder in it, but is brought down at the 39, and that was Taimo on the tackle, seeing him back in after a brief injury.
It's good to see him
back.
back.
We talk a lot about how effective BIC is when Ashanti Worthy is returning the 3-on-1. But I feel, guys, they're also just as effective covering.
Oh, 100%. I said
that's not even the same group of guys you
no,
always see.
and I said before the start,
they take that very seriously.
Lavish T versus BIC's coverage team would be an amazing thing.
That and Savion Cunningham. That one least likely to happen.
Right.
The Hulk set up next to Huffin. You see the young bull. That is number 7 set up there.
That's Kenneth Stewart.
Kenneth Stewart.
Kason Campbell starting at a corner.
A player we haven't seen much of on offense. The screen off to Stewart, and he will get to the 46, and that will be second down. They'll mark him down at the 47.
Good chunk of yardage, right, guys? Like, that was nice throw. Good chunk of yardage.
And you see the scheme there. They start with wide receiver at the top of the screen, put him in motion. BIC declares that they're going to run side to side with motion. Kason Campbell's trailing, get the yardage.
Huff set up in the shotgun. We'll send Stewart in motion again. Split back out off that quick screen and off the hands of the receiver turned quarterback turned receiver, and it will be third down.
And this catch, you still got to make that catch.
Yeah.
It touched your hands. You saw it's a quick 5-yard getter. You have to make that catch, especially if you want to be in the conversation for an upper echelon receiver.
Well, and when your quarterback calls your number 2 plays in a row, those were obviously designed plays to go right to Kenneth Stewart. It's a shame, but hey, that's a short pass that Huff's putting a lot of steam on it, but you got to catch it with his right hands.
It'll be 3rd and 2. Huff can get 2 yards on the feet. He can get 25 yards on the feet, and that's what he'll do. He'll cut to the sideline and get out of play on the other side of the 50, marked down at the 46.
Hey, Corey, what do you think about Huff's design plays to just get these nice 5-6 yard chunks?
Well, and then he goes into the hurry up. It keeps the defense off balance.
And that's what we saw him do in 2021 against the BIC both times. And Rob walking out of his career with a chip with that team. In motion to toss to the Hulk, and the Hulk will plow through and gain about a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9.
And you see they go the same look. They go with the crack motion at the top of the screen. You got to kind of think about that side. Credit Verardi on the bottom of the screen because they went counter to where the play was designed.
And this is the first time we've seen Verardi in a few weeks. He was out last week against the Snow Tribe, was a healthy scratch from what we know. But we haven't seen him the last couple of weeks. Seeing him back here against Huff shows the importance of this game.
Indeed.
It'll be 2nd and 9. The Hulk split out wide there at the bottom of the screen.
He's a
Joker.
Uncovered.
Rolls out, thrown, and almost intercepted. And that will go out of play.
Threw it right to Dwan's chest.
It was Dwan Williams, number 2 on the tip.
Well, that's almost like a flood concept. They rolled out. They had the flat underneath that Dwan was covering, and then the out behind him. But the angle of the throw, almost an interception, but it'll bring up 3rd and 9. In this position of the field, they're probably going to go 2 downs here, so no rush to get the full 9 here. But you see Baby Joker in the backfield.
That hair bleach finally settling into his scalp. It'll be 3rd and 9. The play action, Huff in trouble, will roll to his right. He's met by Verardi, and that one will be thrown towards the sideline. Looks like it was caught by Stewart.
And there's a lot of pressure coming off of that BIC front 4. These guys, again, this is the last time. They haven't seen Huff since last year.
Yeah.
And they might still feel a way about what happened last time they seen Huff. So the pressure is definitely there, and BIC is actually looking like the BIC I was raving about in the beginning of the season.
Well, and you got Verardi and Big Mook trailing.
Right.
And they corral him. He's got to throw it away.
The snap, and he will go right towards Verardi.
Will Huff blocking.
Finds an opportunity. Caught! And that one heading down the sideline. Cuts inside. That's Lou Shiesty getting the first down. And I was going to ask if it was smart for the Animals to go for it on 4th and 9.
100%. It was always going to be smart because, as Corey had mentioned, the field position doesn't really give you much. Why not?
What are you going to do?
Well, when you have the most accurate in terms of location thrower in Quattro Huffin.
Indeed. And the misdirection with great blocking up front by that offensive line allowed one of his guys to sneak wide open.
That was Lou Shiesty on the reception.
Huff
in trouble.
Oh my
Huss
God.
is through. Ski slope into Stewart, and that one's out of reach for the young bull,
Now,
and it will be 2nd down.
I think Huff should have ran that.
He had the opening, but I think he was trying to prove a point there. He's been trying to get to his receivers.
We can take a look. Huss. Nah, that's just a great play, man.
And we talk about, and we've talked about off the air how much Huff, Rob, looks like Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And you see there that Iverson or Kobe level athleticism, looking like he's trying to jux his opponent out of his shoes. And it will be second down. The handoff. And now when he's a keeper, quarterback in trouble, thrown, caught, and that's by Joker, John Kessler, and it'll be second and 5.
Wow, the design of that play, there's a lot going on. The only reason that Huff is even able to throw that ball is because the offensive line didn't go down the field. That was a triple option that he turned into a pass. Credit Joker to have the presence of mind.
Phenomenal catch by
the
Joker,
ball.
yeah.
But also, that's Huff, man.
Oh,
Snap
my.
off the screen.
Wow.
Touchdown,
Joker with
Silk
the touchdown.
City.
Oh, wow. And that that was never necessarily the question on if the Animals can score, because we watched them walk down the field last week in the monsoon against one of the best teams in the league and just score at will.
Especially on that first drive.
Right.
Which, you see.
Same thing.
It's a script. He's got the plays likely. This is confirmed, but you could tell based on them going hurry up.
Right.
And then what they do to get the touchdown is after they get the completion there, they hurry up to the line.
It goes right
There's
back to Joker.
miscommunication. Dwan is talking to the middle of the field. And it ends up being a touchdown.
And they will go for one. The snap.
Championship points.
Those championship points so
And
vital.
right back to Joker. My goodness.
Is he the secret weapon?
Joker is – who is covering Joker? He is on a hibachi grill right now.
What
getting
I've seen
cooked.
so far is that whoever is covering the tight end is also got a spy and responsible for Huff. So when Huff has that run action, the tight end so far, Joker, a savvy veteran, has slipped away from his defender and found a little bit of space.
3 straight plays where that happened.
Right.
Getting 5 yards, getting the touchdown. And it is 7-0 here in Asbury Park. And if you want to be a part of the conversation, if you're watching on A7FL.tv, that's A7FL.tv, go into the chat, say hi, what's up? And you can also follow us across social media and let us know what teams you love and what teams you think are trash. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and obviously YouTube. Head on over there now, and let's take a look at the replay of that scoring play. And Huff just finding the ability in the midst of chaos to find the open receiver.
Yeah, and you saw Dwan was shading where Huff was. He started to roll out to his left. He's responsible for the tight end. And because you have to honor Huff as a runner, you let a guy open downfield.
So is that now Huff exposing something that most people might not have noticed in a defense as good as BIC?
And it will be that man, Quattrell Huff, and former MVP, throwing to that man.
Yeah.
Last year's Offensive Player of the Year, Ashante Worthy. And you got to throw to him here. And that one will be thrown inbounds. Worthy will get that one chased, and that will bounce out of play. So it will be, let's see what the call was. If it fell within the 25, if I can get an official word on that.
See, Huff can throw it almost out of the end zone. Not consistently, but almost, right?
It seems it will be a dead ball run.
Which is
way
situation.
worse.
That is not what you want.
What Huff goes for a lot of those times, you know, especially for one the U, is those sky throws. So he attempts it there and it goes out of bounds, which is probably worst case scenario.
Yeah, I'm getting my voice ready to say bye-bye.
Yeah, if you're about to just go, you know, take a break real quick, I would advise against it.
Just stay still. The fireworks are starting.
As
He's not even
Samuel L.
starting at the
Jackson
25.
said in Jurassic
he's
Park.
spotting them 5 yards.
Hold on to your butts. Here we go. Ashante Worthy will cut through. He will meet Huff towards the sideline at the 50-yard line. He'll cut through the defender, plows through, tries to slip out of it, but good field possession nonetheless.
And I don't know if it's just me. Ashante Worthy looks a lot stronger than he did last
looks
year.
like he's put on more
that's his
size.
game, especially on those 3-on-1s. He gets into a position where he gets you off balance and then he powers through. That's his game.
I didn't think he looked that strong the first few seasons I watched him. This year, he looks like he's been in that room doing plyometrics, bench pressing people. Ashante looks good, man.
And it will be 1st and 10 for the BIC. Codrington will set up with an empty backfield and 4 wide receivers.
Looks like it. Likely there's a timeout here. Likely the Animals calling a timeout, seeing the BIC come out in a formation I haven't seen
with
this
Q
year.
Bell, with Kyle Ward, with Ashante Worthy.
But also they had the ice cream truck in the slot at the top of your screen. That smells a little bit like a guy coming in on a jet motion.
I wouldn't want no
smoke.
Smoke with that. Ice cream truck in a jet mode. He's coming down.
That's a problem.
Phenomenal comment by Kenneth Tippett. Joker is running loose in Gotham City right now, and that is an awesome comment. That was great. That was.
And there we
Good
see
job.
K-Wax sauntering like he's got a bad back to the line. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the BIC.
Old man whacked it.
And that empty set again. They're going to try to extend the field. Watch the bottom of your screen. Watch Q Bell.
4 wide.
Well, it's interesting. The Animals D lineup is they're going to bring 2, and then you got Mitch in the middle to maybe play spy on Sterry.
Ice cream truck setting up to the right, and that'll be a handoff for the ice cream truck. They create the seam on the sideline. Plows through a defender.
Did a man just lose his head?
He lost something. I mean, I don't want to be in front of the ice cream truck when it's driving 90 miles per hour.
Oh, you wait on the sidewalk. JPP Cleaver, who was the man right there who lost his head, he knows better than that. He's probably likely.
And they're going to go into the hurry up here. And they're going to go into the play, juking our replay team, and Sterry Condrington juking a defender, jukes another. Look at that! Getting past everybody and their mother to get to the 17-yard line. First down BIC, but a flag on the field. And let's take a look at this ice cream truck replay as we assess the
You tell me if you want to
penalty.
get in front of this. This is a great block by Kyle Ward. Oh, God, never mind.
Ryan, don't say anything.
Yeah, never mind.
He was
Someone's head is off.
Wow.
All right, it was
hit
just
him
a
with
skull
that
cap.
French Revolution. Hit him with the
Sweating so
Bastille
slick.
Day.
Ooh, Bastille Day.
Going again with that empty set.
Let them eat cake.
Indeed.
And on that last play, Sterry saw Huff, and normally he would go out of bounds, but he wanted to juke the opposing quarterback. And then his lineman came in to clean up the block.
Guys, there's only 2 on the line right now for Sterry Codrington. Ice cream truck will set again in motion. He'll set to the other side. Watch that run to the top of your screen. There's the handoff, and they will push the pile, and the ice cream truck will get closer to the 12-yard line.
And believe it or not, guess who made that tackle? Another former quarterback in this league, in Chuck Johnson.
Chuck Johnson.
CJ.
Listen. Huff is an
CJ in the game
inspiration
and
to
not in the
all
chat
and
for
everyone.
once.
If only my Boston Omegas would let me play defense. I do have 2 tackles on the year, though.
Please don't play defense.
That's probably a better idea.
Corey, we need you for the playoffs.
Yeah, please, Corey. Keep your wheels
You know,
together.
unless people are stepping on my throat, I think I'll be good for the playoffs.
I've never thought I'd see two
Pause.
quarterbacks I played for playing defense.
Ice cream truck again in motion.
Stack the box now.
They're loading up, and Codrington plays off of it to Bell. Touchdown, B-I-C.
It always smells a little bad when you see Q Bell playing tight end because that's just too good of a skill set to use as just a blocker. And what they did is they went from the 4 wide into the heavy run look. And what do you got to do if you're in the Animals? You got to play run.
You got to play it.
Play action. It's ice cream truck. You got to commit.
But don't lose your assignment, which is what happened.
And back-to-back drives, we see tight ends lost in coverage. And here's the play on Huff. He gets past Mitch, who's his spy. Duke has lost enough weight to chase. But then Sterry's like, oh, hello, sir.
And there you see Sterry calling for the lateral, not knowing that man was behind him.
And that's a great block by Mark-I.
And here's the 2-point attempt. This is the touchdown.
And again, it's like if Sterry drew it up and knew guys wouldn't be focused.
And they're going for 2 here. Codrington throws it. Caught. 2 points for the BIC.
Umar Butter Lewis with the championship points.
No margarine in that one. That was straight buttery by Umar Lewis. 8-7, the BIC in the lead.
I mean, BIC looks good. BIC looks well-oiled. They look ready today.
And if you want to be a part of the A7FL, if you're a BIC fan, if you're a Silk City Animals fan, you can get your A7FL gear, get t-shirts, hoodies, jerseys, and more at a7fl.com/gear. That's a7fl.com/gear. I got to get my Boston Omegas Corey Hammond jersey, so I'm going to go after the games to a7fl.com/gear. You do the same.
When buying jerseys, Matt, at any sports level, you go with the younger player that has a future, go with the Goose. Go with the Goose jersey. He's 20 years old.
Look, I have one framed jersey in my home from a player. It's Wayne Gretzky's Canada Cup jersey from the locker room. I have that framed in my home.
Oh, wow.
The only other one I want.
How much is that going for right now?
I don't know, and they'll never sell it. But I want a Big Rob Fabian game used, and I want a Corey Hammond game used to put on my.
Well, that Gretzky's definitely going for more than the red BIC jersey that DG Cole's got for roasting me. Here's the 3-on-1.
And here comes a chance for the Animals to get back on the top of the board. It's an opportunity for Bebo. He's at the 30. He will try to putt through a defender.
Phenomenal tackle.
And that's number 7 on the
That's
tackle.
Jamie. Again, BIC's receiving,
Looking like Frozone out there.
throw-off team is phenomenal.
Yeah, they know how to stifle a return, and you see the frustration.
Yeah, man. Like, Bebo didn't get anything on that. Jamie is fast, quick to the ball. He's right to it.
Yeah, and he's a Marine. Yes, SEAL Team
I
7,
can tell.
Jamie Melendez.
One running back set to the right, wide receiver in motion. That is Lou Shiesty.
Shiesty on JJ on Lou Shiesty.
Luis Nieves. Stewart in motion. They'll do a change places like it's a tea party in Wonderland. Tight end in motion. Play action. Huff will roll out to his right. We'll have time. Ferrari meets him. He jukes Ferrari. Now in trouble. The sidearm caught. First down. Silk City.
Man, look, let me just.
How the hell does he do it?
All right, Macho with the catch.
Go ahead,
First
Corey.
of all,
Go ahead, Corey.
Pre-play.
Wow.
Every eligible receiver, including the running back, went in motion because
Every single
BIC
one.
is following motion. And then we saw something which is basically a clinic on what not to do as a quarterback, and he still completes it. Look at his play.
Nope. Why are you jumping? Even
Sidearm,
gets
underhand, first down.
The snap, and there's another sidearm popped up, intercepted by the BIC, and then trying to lateral it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Brought down at the 49.
And again, once we see this replay, you'll notice it's
Dwan Williams.
It's
with
the young
INT.
ball that has to bring that catch in.
Well,
you have to.
in a championship level game like this, who are you putting your money on? You're putting your money on Huff to make the smart player, or you're going to make the smart player?
If you're
Because
Huff,
it's
you
a
have
great-
to. You're going to make the throw. He has to make the
It's a great
catch.
situation in which you're going hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. But what he did was he put the ball in the middle of the field to a receiver that, look, that's a 50-50 ball. So, yes, should he have caught it? Could he have caught it? Yes, but that's also a very dangerous play. And when you are giving it back to the BIC, whose offense is built to go play action up top here and just change momentum and break it open, you know, you got to look at both parties, quarterback and receiver, on that turnover, and neither of them made a great play there.
And it'll be 1st and 10.
But as the quarterback, he takes it upon himself to guard Ashanti Worthy at the bottom of your screen.
That is a matchup you never thought you'd see heading into this season, and a
Wow.
big handoff, breaking
Great
off
tackle.
4 yards,
He also
tripping
went
him
a little
up.
bit airborne.
Great tackle.
That was Kyle Ward on the carry. He kind of
again,
did a
he's-
Superman.
He kind of did. I mean, he's hyping his team up. He has to wake the guys up. He made a mistake, and like you said, went right to the quote-unquote best player on the field and went straight to
And
guard
beat
him.
the block on Ashanti
Right.
Worthy. It was only, if you look at the replay, it was only ice cream truck coming in there to clean it up.
And if you're
That got him off his feet, but he still somehow made the tackle on Kyle Ward.
And if you're just joining us, you score 8-7. The BIC in the lead over the Silk City Animals. I'm Matt Ryan, joined by Corey Hammond and Big Rob Fabian. Animals scored first. The BIC followed up, but on a huge second down play, Huff gave up the ball on a tipped interception, trying to throw sidearm, and that one jumping the line.
See who it's on.
It's on the defense.
It's on defense. Man clearly just hopped right over.
I believe that was Sean Thomas. He be Beeston. I be Beeston on the back of the jersey. He be Beeston over the line. And that will give
that's
him
going
an
to be an
extra
interesting
5.
call because we have to keep an eye on Sterry Codrington. And yeah, call me a narc, but this is something that is consistent in his games. He has this cadence that sometimes gets people to jump, but he also has to be careful if he's breaking the rules. Without a center quarterback exchange, he's really only limited to down set hut or some version of that 3-point cadence, as we explained to Matt, because of that guest appearance we were talking about. But it'll bring
I don't
up
know
first
what you're
down.
talking about.
You know, secret weapon.
I'm not. If that's not happening in this game, if it happened in this game,
I think you'd be very comfortable in there with your nice getup that we talked about as well in pregame.
The snap, Codrington will throw it, and that one will be incomplete.
Throw was short. I mean,
he's off his back foot. He's basically jumping back. It's
a lot of
pressure in his face.
His
but,
offensive line got pushed back way too far for any type of comfort.
Well, and he's also lucky because that was actually the one guy who was blocking for his team was still at the line of scrimmage, and on that shallow route, the defender that he was blocking was almost there for an interception to bring him second to that. It's hard when if you're the Animals, you almost want BIC to throw it every play because that's your best chance. Because if they have to play honest on the run and the pass, both from running back, whoever is in there, whether it's Ice Cream Truck or probably Courage, second, mid, third quarter, or Sterry Codrington, it's just tough to guard both.
It's way tough to deal with.
In motion, second down. Codrington throws this wide open. Slip, slide, take it to the house. Q Bell again for the second time. Touchdown, BIC.
I mean, Q Bell is a goal line monster. Q Bell, and within that red zone, 30 yards and in, there's almost no one else I'd rather throw it to than Q Bell in the league right now because he's a sure thing. He's strong enough to catch it. He'll out-jump you, and he'll score.
And this is what they're playing bully ball in the sense of you have to honor every single offensive player on that field.
If you watch the replay, watch where Q Bell is. The guy responsible for him runs right in and gets the pressure. So why is he wide open? Because he leaves immediately, and Sterry has the poise to put a ball in between defenders. And look, that looks like he's wide open, but it's still a tough throw.
To be honest with you, that's why the miscommunication comes right there. He lets Q Bell just dart past him. Duke and the other gentlemen that were on the line did their jobs. Duke sagged back to actually cover Ice Cream Truck coming out of the backfield.
That was a Missile Desaline who gave up the goat on that play. Going for 2 here.
Got to play it, man.
Up 7.
There's another tight end wide open in the back. There goes Umar.
Codrington.
Umar Butterloo is wide open in the back of the end zone.
He'll find a rare run this season from Codrington, and he'll get in there, making it 16-7.
And I think Codrington has something to prove this year. I don't know if somebody was bothering him and saying, "Hey, bro, you run a lot," or "Hey, bro, you can't beat us with your throwing arm." I don't know if they told him that, but Codrington has been proving this year that he can throw the ball.
Yeah, with 2 early touchdowns in the first quarter. And now it's a 9-point game. Guess what? 2 scores, the Animals need to take the lead again, even if they score on the next drive. Championship points are big.
And then
And with perfect weather comes the perfect opportunity to say hello again from Asbury Park Stadium. I'm Matt Ryan, joined alongside Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond. And Rob, your point before we took a bit of a stop.
62% completion.
Yeah.
Highest in the league.
It is ridiculous how talented this season we've seen Sterry Codrington evolve as a passer.
Right.
In year 1, we saw him as a proficient runner, a guy who can make plays behind center. Year 2, we saw that hybrid really emerge for him. But now in year 3, it's something different. Bebo on his 3rd return attempt, and he will get eaten up by the turf monster and brought down to the 25. And you can see his frustration.
Look at these guys. I mean, Trey Cohen is usually the lead monster on this throw-off team, and he's not even out there, and they're still stopping guys.
Yeah, and Jamie Melendez is trying to hide, but with that blue man head, he's not. SEAL Team 7 is getting him. Speak of the devil, man, and he
Trey,
enters
there he
the
is.
locker room.
Here's Trey. We'll see him out on the field soon.
This drive for Huff as he starts at the 25 is huge because momentum is starting to slide.
Right.
1st and 10, in motion. That's Lou Shiesty. Nieves. Bunched up at the line. Here comes the pressure. The sidearm tipped up and almost intercepted again.
Corey?
Kenneth Stewart off
yes,
time
he dropped
on that.
It, but it's also, you got to know your guy. And if he's not going to catch that fired slant, make it a little bit easier on him.
I am a quarterback. You are a receiver. What is my job? To throw the ball into your hands, and your job is to use your hands to catch it. You got to catch that, Corey.
Stewart has, the timing with him has been a little funky today. Nieves in motion. The snap. Huff will roll out to his right, and he will run with the ball. He'll get to the 30 and run out at the 33. It'll be 2nd and about 3rd and about 7.
Great block by the Greek Beast to seal in Verardi to actually open that lane up for Huff to run. I didn't see that coming at all.
3rd down. Huff will carry it. He'll cut towards the sideline, and he will get the 1st down and then some.
That's a great look at one of the greats in this league, number 9 for BIC, Ole Bell.
Very legal what he did, too. I'm not being sarcastic. That was legal. That was very legal.
Up by the way that Huff plays quarterback, because when he's there at the defensive edge position, he's trying to stop the pass, he's trying to stop the run, and he got just crossed over. and Quattro Huffin with the 1st down.
Huff 5 for 11, 76 yards in the 1st quarter, 1 touchdown, 1 costly interception. 3 rushes for 14 yards.
A lot of familiar faces in this one shot, man. I beat a lot of you guys.
And that's why you're now in the booth.
Yep.
You played long enough to have lost to a lot of those guys,
for
too.
Sure,
Rob.
For sure. Never since Easterbond, no.
Stewart in motion.
Never.
And that one, Bebo in motion on first down. Huff and brought down by Verardi.
And it's like the nightmare has returned. There he is, Verardi on Huff.
Last year's Rookie of the Year and runner-up to Defensive Player of the Year, Alex Verardi back in. And we were waiting to see him make an impact and dropped him there.
Well, it's really a... Wow, that's a great comment, Kenneth Tippett. But it's really... This is kind of a concept. This isn't necessarily a play. This is just what they're doing. They're going motion. They're trying to isolate. And that slant has been there the whole time. But when Verardi rushes the way he does,
you can't risk
it's
throwing
hard
it like
to
that.
get through that. And normally what you'll see Huff do is he'll do the submarine throw around. But when he did that the last time, it's an interception. So, you know, the mistake is compounded by now making your quarterback play a little bit differently and bring up second and really long.
It's what we used to worry about as offensive linemen, like letting Corey or letting your quarterback get hit. It changes his timing, it changes his focus, and it messes things up for you. You can't allow him to get hit like that.
Timeout called by the BIC, and it will be second down.
Well, and this is almost a good thing for the Animals. They get to kind of, it's almost like a basketball timeout. We're always doing the basketball references when we see Huff on the field, so let's keep it going. But it's almost like, all right, timeout. BIC's on a run. Let's talk about it. We can go back into the hurry up, but let's put a couple of plays together in the huddle. Let's get back to this. Let's do that. Because what you see is that the Animals are going to consistently put guys in motion, and BIC's stubborn right now. They're sending everybody across the field, across the field, across the field. That has led to guys being open, but number one, Huff has to take care of that extra man on the defensive line because you see he's only got the two. He's only got the two guys blocking.
It's 3-on-3. He's responsible for one. If they bring one over, they bring another one. So it's 4-on-4. It's always even.
The snap, and Huff will roll out to his right. He is chased by Verardi. Verardi goes for the ankles, sets it up, but Huff coming through again, and Huff knocked the ball out. And that one will be out of play either way.
And he says, come back to me, to his receivers, because he needed somebody to bail him out. He made the first guy miss, but the thing about the BIC defensive line, Scott McCorkle, is they have tons of talent and tenacity. So they're coming after him. One guy, next guy, and yes, Huff has the ability to make those guys miss.
Did Scott not believe?
Oh, well, Scott McCorkle on the Other Side of the Ball podcast for everybody watching on DAZN. You should check it out. He was saying that the Vegas guys are unmatched in the league. But when it's Mr. Bonnet himself, Louis V, Verardi making a miss, getting back up, and then Olay Bell, a Hall of Famer, credit Huff to even keep it alive.
And the snap, and Huff
throws
it. That's to Bebo on third down, and Bebo getting bopped by this BIC defense looking hungry out there.
And I don't know if you just saw that, Scott, but I don't think anyone in Vegas is putting that kind of pressure on a quarterback. So
Tomeno,
who has a very clean chance at Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Terrence Howard's favorite A7FL player.
Really? Tomeno?
Oh, Maine.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, Mano. Put Mano in, man.
And it will be fourth down, and it looks like Huff will throw it off here.
And we talked about it earlier, fourth down, they went for it, but on 4th and 19 with the sack,
you can't do that. You can't do that.
That's some nasty work right there.
He's going to skip it. He's going to skip it. He's going to
skip it, and that one will go out of play around the 25.
And even though it's Kyle Ward back there, not Ashanti Worthy, the smart play is on the replacement for a punt, 3-on-1 throw off.
Yep.
Get out of bounds, make BIC run plays, and although they've been very effective at doing that.
Carlos Croslin from the Patterson U in the chat on A7FL.TV saying Huff got to look to run, then throw.
Yeah, just to remind the chat that the doo-doo name on the back of Shaquem McCutcheon's jersey is representative of his daughter who is dealing with, going through cancer.
And that's what she calls her dad.
That's what they call each other. So, let's just...
We can have a little fun with it, but
let's just have a little respect.
There's a reason and a good cause.
Yeah, so let's,
our best to the McCutcheon
and if
family,
if you wouldn't say it to his face, because if you've seen him, you probably wouldn't. You wouldn't say it to his face.
Without any context, I get it, but, we'll give you the context, because that's actually our job. So, just a heads up. To give them context, I would think so.
Mostly.
They don't like it.
I was told to look handsome and speak.
Dang, I failed on the handsome part.
But you're Corey Handsome.
I am, but I don't look as good as y'all two today.
1st and 10 for the defending champion BIC, up 16-7. Under 30 seconds left to go. Donnell Hubert, the ice cream truck, play action. Thrown to Ashante Worthy. Worthy will cut through the seam. Worthy will get the first down. Worthy will battle through, and it took 5 guys to get him down.
See how strong he looks?
Yeah, that's strength. But you go play action rocket screen. Finds the tunnel, credit the Animals for making the tackle. A lot of times, I would say 6 out of 10 times, guys, 3 out of 5,
Yeah.
It's going for 6.
And that one will mark the end of the first quarter. 1 quarter down, 3 more to go. Your score, the Trenton BIC 16, the Silk City Animals 7. You're watching the A7FL on A7FL.TV, DAZN, and also on Twitch. So we're glad you're joining us here. I'm Matt Ryan, joined alongside Big Rob Fabian. We've got ourselves an interesting matchup here, guys, as the BIC gets the ball one more time, looking to go up 3 scores.
And I would love to keep the ball out of Sterry and Ashanti's hands as much as I could.
Well, and to talk about something that Carlos Carlson said, that Huff should be looking to run the ball, let's just also be clear based on, here's the stats.
And that's only the stats for the Animals as of now. We'll get the full stats in just a moment.
And you see, Animals offense moving the ball, but unfortunately, you got to play 3 ways, and although the 3-on-1, they've had a lot of opportunities, they haven't made it matter. Their defense struggling.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the BIC. Receiver in motion, he'll set up to the right. Checking over with the offensive line, loaded up on the line. Ashante Worthy, number 6 at the top of your screen. The snap, the handoff, cuts to the sideline. Kyle Ward pushing downfield and brought out of play on the other side of the 45-yard line, 2nd down.
And most times you see a quarterback talking at the line of scrimmage, he's usually changing it or checking a pass protection. You know, Sterry made that run play by assigning the blocks for the offensive line, and that's just the level of control he has over this offense and the level of control he has at his position in the A7.
And you see here again on the replay, just
great block.
Ice cream truck followed him through to the end.
Oh my goodness! Fed him a Choco Taco on the way down.
Pedro, what
There's
Pedro
not a lot
did
of
last.
Good humor on that one.
Ooh,
no,
that's great humor.
Good humor. Another one from Kyle Ward.
Kyle Ward almost broke off.
Mitch somehow snuck in.
Money-making Mitch, number 4 on the tackle, Mitchell Jenkins.
But Pedro from Snow Tribe has awakened the beast of an ice cream truck.
Yeah, he probably should have never hit him like that.
Oh.
He took that personally.
Yeah, and when I spoke to Ice Cream Truck a few weeks ago, he did say that he wanted to show that the weight loss is not just a look thing. He felt like he wasn't producing the same way he was when he was bigger. And in that moment, I kind of agreed. But now, he's showing up.
Yeah, he's been making plays ever since that off-balance pancake. Here's Kyle Ward getting up. He's
an injury on the field. Trying to see who it is, but
it was Kyle Ward.
Yeah, it was Kyle Ward.
No, it was Kyle Ward being carried off the field. Hopefully, everything is well with him.
Burton in the huddle, offering the water. Great job, team player there.
And he is not a water boy, ladies and gentlemen.
No,
Burton puts in pain.
not.
No bonnet today, which I guess is because the weather's nice. You let the sun hit the hair. I'll feel it. Bonnet Burton is not in effect. I'm okay with that.
So you don't wear the bonnet for fashion, Rob. You know better than anybody. You wear it to protect the curls. Can't get them wet.
Can't get them wet.
Listen, 2nd and 3.
I just let my soul close.
Oh man, Bebo on Ashanti. I don't like the look of
Worthy
it.
in motion. Codrington with a lot of time now feels some pressure. Will find a way to evade it. He will carry it, thrown, caught off the hands of Worthy.
My. Okay.
Tried to catch that one running forward and bobbled it. It will be 3rd down.
And Ashanti got to give me like 5 push-ups off of that. He got to catch that.
Ashanti Worthy running pass routes reminds me of Steph Curry running to get open for a 3. Right there, he ran a deep go, a 9 route, was held at about 4 yards, then ran around, got back to what would be a curl area, and he's still got a man on him.
You see the frustration.
He'll catch that next one.
I feel like he's going to just say, throw it far, I will get it.
And Huff better go guard him.
And it will be 3rd down. If Huff's not guarding him, watch that. And you see Q Bell, he's had both of the BIC's touchdowns today from the tight end position.
Better guard the tight end position.
Filling a gap that's usually held by Courage Mosey. And Codrington will keep it. Codrington will run out inside the 20.
And you know why? In many games, even if Hollywood Ashanti Worthy is not producing on the field, he's the best player on the field. Because did you see that block from the wide receiver position. He just missed a catch, and he's such an unselfish guy that on third down, he's just going to send the corner 20 yards down the field.
Chuck Hayes in the chat saying the bonnet adds plus 10 acceleration, though.
I'm with it, Chuck. I'm with it.
And when we have the A7FL game, we're going to need like the bonnet mode is like the ultimate.
Well, especially
team.
a Louis V bonnet, guys. That's an unlockable item. You have to be a gold plus member or something like that.
The snap and the handoff. No,
And
Codrington will keep it. Codrington waving bye-bye. Touchdown BIC and it's getting spicy.
Okay, guys.
Between two of the top players.
Right,
he's saying it's his league now.
All right,
Huff,
guys. All right.
Huff being held back by his former teammate, the ice cream truck. And now we've got a little bit of a confrontation here.
And as this continues, we got to talk about sportsmanship. But let's be honest. Who started that, Rob?
That was Huff.
Huff clearly missed the play.
And he grabbed him.
Frustration, he throws him after the touchdown. So you know what I like? That Sterry didn't just let it be.
No, Sterry.
He threw the football, and he's likely going to get a penalty for that.
Sterry made
that wasn't smart.
But Sterry made a stance.
But he didn't back down from a guy in this league.
Yeah, Sterry made a stance, and he has to make that stance because it is his league now. And he has to show that.
And here's the replay.
Here it is.
Obviously, he's gone.
This is cold.
He rubs it in and says, peace. That's part of our league.
That's cold.
But guess what? He's well over just throwing a man down after he's ready to celebrate.
That's that Michael Jordan energy I told you Huff has. I told you. Huff has that energy.
It's that Steve Kerr practice in real life.
Listen, it is. And this is my stuff.
And other than throwing,
I think he said my time. He said it's my time.
Oh, I hope so.
Other than throwing the football, Sterry did nothing wrong there. It was Huff that pushed back.
Aote with an interesting comment there in the chat.
Chill out, bro. Chill out, man.
Shout out to everybody watching us on A7FL.TV, DAZN, Twitch.
But to be clear, Aote said on something. So he's the type of a very calm, collected guy that he would go to a sideline and find some inanimate object.
He's going to find the tackle dummy. Going for two again. Codrington throws it and will not be complete. But the damage has been done. That one was intended for Umar Lewis.
Umar Butter Lewis.
Speed kills on the jersey, and the speed killing on that point attempt. And it's 22-7. The Animals on their back foot here against the BIC.
Now you're starting to feel the momentum shift.
Starting to? Or did it shift already?
Well, one of the things that's great about the hurry-up offense is you kind of can dictate to the defense. The worst part about the hurry-up offense, if it isn't working, you're not on the field as an offense for very long at all, which means that your defense is now a little bit tired, which means that your defense is now thinking a little bit faster than they should. And credit BIC because they haven't taken their foot off the gas. And on that last play, they go quarterback option. Nobody's there to stop Sterry Codrington, which is probably a mistake, guys.
Going for the three-on-one throw-off.
And you see the penalty there. They'll throw it off from the 50, so we'll see if Kyle Ward attempts the sky throw.
And Jaquan Mason was in there throwing the flag, saying none of this.
Nice.
We're having none of this.
He's got to get that.
And Baby Joker picks it up, lets it dribble a bit, and he gets brought down inside the 10 at the 9-yard line. Kyle Ward not playing around.
Yeah, Kyle Ward's another one. Him, Abby Mansoray, and Ashanti must go to the same gym. They all look jacked, and maybe Debo is the leader of that pack because those guys look like they really have not stopped working out since last year.
Well, we talked about it last week about the Animals. We see the intensity and the high skill level from Huff. What the Animals need in this game to get back in it is that same intensity, same high level of play from the other guys on the roster. So it's going to be incumbent on the guys that see top of the screen, Lou Shiesty, Kenneth Stewart, bottom of the screen, Murder Mitch.
Only two on the line, and the BIC bringing Bell and a litany of chaos to the front door. Quattro Huffin. Huff in trouble, brought down at the
My
1.
goodness, Ole Bell just gets right in there. And like I said before, it's 3-on-3. What you're seeing is Huff lining up with 2, and there's 3 guys on that defensive line looking right at him. Huff's responsible for one of those guys, and I wouldn't have wanted it to be Ole Bell.
And it will be 2nd and 17 timeout called by the BIC, their second charged timeout.
It looks like me and a Southern college are trending, and I appreciate it. It's probably not going to happen. I don't have any more years of eligibility, Shasta, but I appreciate it.
I'm not going to lie. If that is trending,
It's not.
You are
It's
literally the GOAT. That is amazing if that's trending. I'm
If
not
that's
gonna lie to
trending,
you.
I'm wearing a do-rag tonight.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, all right. I'm going to
Guys,
send someone
listen,
to the 7-Eleven.
Hashtag Corey STFU. Have it trending. He will wear a do-rag tonight.
I'll have
silky out
Moon
there.
teach me how to tie it pre-game.
Before he chases you around the field.
No, he doesn't play defense.
No,
anymore.
and Tay, you're 100% correct. Like, that's not the guy I would choose to let come free. But you got to look at that
What's
BIC.
the other options?
Yeah, the BIC D-line is vicious.
Here's the answer. When you have pressure on you as a quarterback, you're not the same guy.
An interesting comment from the Pruneda brothers. That was Sterry taking the torch. No need for Huff to pass it to him.
Indeed.
Fakes the screen. Huff will throw this.
Money
Down the
making
sideline.
Mitch.
Money
Hold
making
on.
Mitch. It's
Hold
straight
on.
cash, homie. He needs to keep the
Huss.
momentum going. Huss is through, but stops the momentum long enough to get brought down at the 32.
Hey,
Shout out
Mitch,
to Ricky
hey,
Tate
Mitch.
for making sure that didn't turn into points. But as we
Mitch.
talk about a torch,
Hey,
Huff
Mitch,
is
I'm
taking
not
that
going to
back.
hold you, Mitch. If this was a few seasons ago, you would have scored that, all right? I see it. But great play by Mitch right there.
On the 1 yard line.
All right, and it is a great play by Mitch. And here we go.
And quick
Baltimore
screen.
special.
And,
Whistle it dead. I'm not sure if they got it off a little bit too quick.
and because of what Frank and let's take a look at this. It's that.
Look at Jamie
that,
Melendez, SEAL Team 7, just
my
misses
goodness.
it.
Look
That's
at the
magical.
burners. Ricky Tate with
That
the
could have been
burners.
that was either a pick six or this play. Like, let's
No,
see
it was
again.
never going to be a pick six. Look at that man. That is a magician. The ball's going to go through his hand. It's an avatar. This is not real. Did you see what just happened on that play? He's standing in the goal line.
Looked like a reset.
Should have
on
been a
that
safety.
play.
Anybody else?
But he's good at making plays
He's
happen.
great at making
That
plays.
looks like the. Oh, wow. Okay,
He
caught
finds
him.
the sideline.
Caught him cheating.
and
Caught him cheating.
We'll get the first down.
But there is two comments that were made in the chat, one by Frank and one by Yuck. That's the key. Huff is the highest level player on the Animals. These guys have to match what Huff brings to the team. And they just haven't been able to do that.
And it will be 1st and 10. Huff with one linebacker set to his right, far right. Huff will keep it. Here comes the pressure, though. Here comes Verardi. They'll toss off that screen.
And that turf monster just takes him out.
It is a beautiful day, but that turf over the last couple of weeks has been taking a punishing beating from the weather.
Well, and just think about the urgency of that play and how chaotic it is. That's where Quattro Huffin has lived his entire life. These Animals players are having to react to all of this craziness, and only one man is really at that level right now. And no disrespect, not very many other people in the league are.
8:16 left to go. The snap.
He does it again.
Rolls out, and Huff will find
Oh,
it off
wow.
the toss to Kenneth Stewart. He gets brought down at
Was
the
that
2-yard
backwards?
line.
I can't even tell from this angle.
And it will be 1st and goal. And they will go immediately into the negative huddle. And number 21 on the coverage, Kason Campbell, will be covering Stewart. The snap, the toss to Baby
Baby
Joker.
Joker.
Baby Joker
Oh, whoa,
brought
whoa,
down.
whoa.
They'll whistle him
They're going to
dead.
whistle it dead before the play.
And there's a flag on the field.
And that's a veteran move from Huff as quarterback. You get right to the line, run the play, because that might have been something that the BIC would look to challenge if that lateral was
Forward,
indeed
right.
backwards. To use one of Rob's favorite words this year that I love. I love that. Say it right now.
What's the word?
Well, when you agree with me, you'll say it later. But it'll be a penalty on the Animals. But honestly, if they're not going to be able to challenge that play and they'll take the 1st and goal, well, discussion.
Conversation along the sideline. Official Jaquan Mason talking with one line with our head referee for the day. Big Yuck Gaming, Huff Puff, show enough, don't matter, BSC by 20. That's just a great line.
It is. That's phenomenal. I mean, Huff needs help. I've been avoiding saying it all season, but Huff needs help. He needs more than what he actually has on the Animals. One more stud receiver, one more stud running back, and one more stud on defense.
Or how about this? One more game in this type of pressure where they kind of feel it and get used to it. Here's the dive.
Quick handoff to Oye, and Oye going,
No,
Oye
no,
comes
no.
loose, picked up by the BIC.
And I don't see
Big
a whistle.
man going
And that's
down the
Big Burton.
sideline. Big Burton.
That's Big Burton.
Ayo Burton running down the sideline. trying to put 6 on the board. Flag on the play. We don't know if it'll be a touchdown or they'll call it back, or that's just some good cardio from my man, and hits him with the Sears family photo pose.
He's of course going to dance.
Here we go.
Listen, when a guy, he's not even really TBS, but when a guy that large is getting into the end zone, you got to just allow whatever follows. But credit the rest of his team for running down there and what might even get called back. You got to give him his moment.
And you see him there, A.O. Burton, one of the more outlandish personalities in an outlandish league. Once we get an understanding of what the call was, looks like that play was brought all the way back.
Don't encourage him, Matt. It's only going to get worse.
And it does, and it's as I said before, right? You ask yourself if in this league, I don't know why
I think it might be whether or not it's a fumble or the whistle blew. That's a fumble.
That's a fumble.
It depends on when the whistle was blown. Because
if the whistle was blown,
encroachment was called on the defense.
So the play doesn't even count.
It doesn't even count. That's tough. But in this league, I think it's very difficult to win with just one superstar. And though Huff did come to the Animals with Duke, with Shaquem McCutcheon, that's not actually enough.
And it will be first and goal. Oh, that's a replay of the play.
That's not enough.
The call was encroachment. Unsure if we're just seeing in the review process here.
You gotta wonder that, hopefully Huff knew what was going on.
I think he did. The body language says he knew.
He probably heard
the body language said he knew. Yeah,
he can't Cam Newton it out there. This is a moment.
No.
Oye set to the left. Will try to keep on the ball here, and he will plow his way into the end zone. Touchdown Silk City if this one stands, and it looks like it does.
Definitely does, yeah.
Cutting it down to 1 score now.
I mean, touchdown again. I didn't think that the Animals had an issue scoring. I just don't know if they can score as frequent as BIC can.
Yeah.
Which is the issue.
And also we saw that tip drill interception.
Right. Miscommunications with your quote-unquote star receiver. His best receiver right now is Kenneth Stewart. Maybe not statistically, but I think Baker's his best receiver statistically, and that's Lou Shiesty, right?
Lou Shiesty, Lou Nieves, because the Animals have 2 dudes with number 8 on it.
Of course they do.
Because the Animals are the Animals.
But it looks like the touchdown stands.
The touchdown
and they're
does
stand. They're going to go for 2 from the 10. So these championship points are big because right now it sits at 9 points. That's a 2-score game. They got to get these points if they want to make this a legitimate game.
Look at where Shaquem is lined up.
Throw, and that one seems to be incomplete, but there might have been a flag on the play.
And honestly, as good as Huff's played all year, I'm just going to...
The Frank champion saying, did they just go 90 yards? No, they went 99 yards.
Yeah, they
it was a 99-yard drive.
Well, it was 94 because they did lose yards on the first play when we were saying, oh, how could you not block Olay? Well, they did the same thing, and then they got 70 on the following play, and Huff's right back in it.
Houdini Huff going 99 yards to make this a 9-point game. It's 22-13. You are looking live at Asbury Park Stadium in Asbury Park, New Jersey. I'm Matt Ryan, joined by Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond. And coming up this July, we are heading to the West Coast, boys. We are getting the travel going. We're getting the all 3-on-1 cruiser and heading on the road as A7FL Nevada will be hosting the A7FL National Championship. And folks, we want you to be a part of the conversation. Not only a part of the conversation, but be in the house with us. Join us for the National Championship. Tickets on sale soon. Travel packages inbound. We want you to come chill with us down. No fear, no loathing, just celebrating July 23rd. Folks, it's going to be a happening. We want you to be there with us.
And if the week prior you see a big bus with the Thick Boy Season Matt Ryan that you can logo, you know who's inside of it.
And that ball will bounce into the end zone and out of play.
Giving the Animals defense a chance to stop BIC's offense, because if that young man grabbed that ball, it's gone.
And that's how you effectively take Ashanti Worthy out, is you throw it legally out of play, whether it's out of the back of the end zone or the side of the end zone. And Huff has consistently been able to show that he has the arm strength to do it. But after an answer from the Animals, you got to know, if you're Sterry Codrington, the man that I would go to if I was Sterry is either myself, because I would have Sterry Codrington's speed, which would be like, a brand new gift at Christmas for me.
And a question for you guys. When you look at
What if I had Sterry Codrington's speed? That would be like Christmas.
I got so lost in what Corey was saying. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Well, the first A7FL produced movie will be Freaky Friday with Sterry and
man, Sterry would be so
Sterry
mad.
and Corey Hammond switching bodies.
So mad.
Is insane, bro. Nah.
But can a team
he'd be
win?
working hard to change it back. I'd be sitting there like,
Can one team win with just one superstar?
No, I mean,
the handoff here to the ice cream truck. The ice cream truck plowing through. Look,
that's a little late. That's a little late, but hey, they're going to give it to him. Answer your question, because we're kind of talking about if it as it applied to the Animals. Yeah, the Animals have a superstar in Huff, but if they were to win, guess what? Ooh, O-Town Orange?
25 to the goal. Wait. Answer the quick, because you're saying if. He
if
asks,
the
can
Animals
you win?
do succeed and were able to win something really legitimate, guess what? There would be superstars made, right?
Okay, but he's asking you, can you win with just one superstar?
I mean, we've seen it in a lot of sports, but what we see is that the
In
guys that we don't know
A7FL.
yet, they take it to the next level. We didn't know that Ashanti Worthy was Ashanti Worthy until the O and BIC went into that Salas tournament with COVID, where there's the handoff to Ice Cream Truck in the middle. But we didn't know who Ashanti Worthy was until he proved it to us.
Yes, but again, you're going so far away from the actual question. Can you win with one superstar? And we're not saying that superstars can't develop over time or over playing, because right now, let's just be honest. With Huff joining the Animals, Baby Joker is a name that I'm seeing it comes up a lot now.
Yep.
He's showing up, but he's not a star. Sahir Hancock, another guy that we notice, but he's not necessarily a star yet. He's maybe a season away. But it's just Huff right now as a star.
My point is if we end this game with Baby Joker scoring the winning touchdowns, guess who's the star? There's
the
a play
snap. Codrington throws this one deep. Caught by Ashanti Worthy. How? How does this happen? Cuts towards that sideline. Hussing through and gets brought out of play at the 21. In any other game, in any other league, that's a Sports Center top 10. That's just another Sunday in the life of Ashanti Worthy.
Well, here's the mistake. He was one-on-one covered, and that's always a mistake. So,
yikes.
Look, he didn't score a touchdown, so that's a win for the Animals. But you got to honor the play action, and then Sterry's like, yep, got him.
Why not let it fly? Look at that.
Boing.
Great catch. Excuse me, Bebo. Yeah, that's just what he can do.
Yeah, credit the Animals for making the gang tackle because one guy wasn't going to do it.
And from the Willie Brown angle here,
not enough pressure whatsoever.
Just the opening coming through.
Great block by Nate.
Oh
my God, head top. That's a head top. My goodness. Excuse me.
That's a Worthy right there.
And look, Sterry Codrington is likely the best quarterback in this game going. But if that ball's put in front of him, there's no way anybody's catching him.
And it will be first down for the BIC. And it's 3 and change left to go here in the first half. The BIC get the ball at half.
That's
dangerous.
Good. That's
and the other
tough.
thing is Rob's championship points. Right now, even though it seems like it's only a one-score game, the Animals would have to score 2 touchdowns to take the lead. That 9-point swing is huge.
Q-Bell is right back at tight end. What a dangerous spot to have a guy at that level in.
And in Vegas, the pit bosses and Kryptonite are getting started soon. And the ice cream truck, it is open for business. All weather, no matter the situation, the ice cream truck will deliver. Handed out Choco Tacos on that carry.
Indeed, I do agree Sterry has to catch him in stride. But
no, he doesn't. He just has to throw it near him and he'll catch it.
For a touchdown, he has to catch him in stride.
Yep.
Oh, my.
Codrington to the end zone, mistimed, misdirection, and it will be second down. Looking for a call there.
That's a great play by Kyle Ward. That's a great play by Kyle Ward.
Shout out to the Real Vikes rule on the A7FL.TV.
Great blocking.
I think this was a forward pass, so give him stats. Give him forward stats yardage. That's another
you just can't help it, huh? Anytime it looks like a forward pass, Corey is on it.
Sterry's going to set a record.
He is the head of marketing for the A7FL Quarterback Club.
I mean, is Sterry Codrington having a record-breaking year this year?
In terms of accuracy,
remember the silly numbers that Woog was putting up throwing to Riddick? Riddick had like 47 receiving touchdowns.
Yeah,
We'd have to go
Riddick's on his team.
The snap.
Phenomenal
Codrington throws it.
Oh,
That one was intended for the ice cream truck, and the word there is intended.
You want to stop Ashanti Worthy? Just grab his jersey and just hold on for dear life, because that's the only way to cover him, and that's what they did on that play.
I still don't think I'd stop him.
Well, it did on that play. You watched. If we do get a chance at this replay, it's blanket coverage, we'll say, and Velcro blanket. Maybe even straight jacket coverage with
these might be the two most accurate quarterbacks in the Northeast, and that is, when you think of those two guys, you think accuracy, you think of consistency, you think of upper level play.
Yeah, and we could go out to Vegas and talk about the video game numbers that they put out there.
I don't want to talk.
Just standing
still. He said Northeast.
But we're talking about the Northeast, and we're talking about.
I think we're missing a name, though. I think we're missing two names if we're talking Northeast. I'm being honest. I think because we're not actually. We don't get to see their games every week.
Yeah.
Ace and.
Oh, no, yeah. No, when it comes to. Two of.
Yeah, two of. Yeah. It's a lot of good quarterbacks in the Northeast. It just happened to be on the same. Well, for the Watchmen, they're both on the same team, unfortunately.
And then you got to think about Mark Diggs down in D.C., who we'll be seeing in the 4 o'clock game against the Snow Tribe. He'll be facing Jonathan Keels.
And we've seen what a healthy Carlos Crosland can do to defenses. So. That's another name up there.
Codrington throws it open, caught, touchdown, BIC.
That's just too easy.
That'll just put a hat on top of that. No cap.
Mansoray on the catch.
Aote, come on now.
Correction, that's Kyle Ward.
That's accuracy right there.
That's accuracy. That's pinpoint accuracy.
Just finding the seam, finding the moment, bing, bang, boom. The BIC continue to make this a tough road for the Silk City Animals, and now burning through the 2-minute warning, only have 1 timeout left. But the good thing is, under 2 minutes, the clock will stop on incompletions and plays out running out of bounds. And here's the scoring play again.
And what you're really looking at is a guy like Sterry, who statistically is the best quarterback in this league. There's no debate on that. The numbers are being written down, and it shows before this game, 62% completion rating. There's no one even close. The next closest person is probably at 50, and that's including Ace and OP and Buck.
And that one will be dropped on the interception attempt, but it is a 15-point game nonetheless. The BIC with the lead, and with 1:55 left to go, Kaiser Jerry knows what the game is.
And what's crazy is that 6 points, it's still only a 2-possession game, so that stop from the Animals is a lot bigger than you realize. And let's be honest. The guys in Baltimore are putting up great numbers and are great quarterbacks, but they're also sharing one team, one load. These two guys are carrying the load by themselves, and that's maybe what sets those two guys apart.
I don't know. Maybe numbers-wise, it might set them apart. Maybe numbers-wise, but as far as what they can do on the field and efficiency, we're talking Ace, OP. Come on.
And if you think you have the players in your hometown that can bring that kind of energy, if you're in Atlanta, you're in Dallas, you're in our DMs, why isn't the A7FL in such and such? You can bring your team to your town. Go to a7fl.com/owners. That's a7fl.com/owners. And get yourself on. Put your team in your town.
Yep.
And here comes the 3-on-1. That won't make the requisite distance on that throw, so we will see the opportunity for a dead ball run.
I'm over under that Hulk doesn't huss at all and just tries to run through someone.
Yeah, I mean, going at full speed when you have the bravery to do that.
And
look
people
what
in the chat
in Vegas
think you're discrediting them. No, we're giving them credit.
Yeah, I think it's the people in the chat are hard of hearing.
We love the chat.
I'm actually
and they love
giving,
us, and there's never hatred.
Yeah, no, I'm giving
Ace
Ace and Buck their credit. I'm saying that it's not just Sterry and Huff.
If we were a flower shop, they would be getting a bouquet right now. We think they're two of the best, but Hulk making his way downtown, trying to drive through, and cannot get past the 50, and it will be first down. Tomeno on the tackle.
Yeah, that's sometimes that bowl through will work against some teams, but like we said about BIC,
BIC's,
but guess what? Getting back to the 50, still pretty good field position.
Very good field position for Huff.
Thanks to everybody watching us here on A7FL.TV. The throw, and that one's picked up by Lou Shiesty.
I don't know if that was a version of our favorite guys. Shout-outs to Baltimore.
No, because JJ was right
not,
there.
but
JJ was right there. It had nothing to do with that.
Angelo Lewis making comments on haircuts.
And listen, it's not JJ's fault that right now. It's Corey's.
I hate the Hawk haircut. Who has the Hawk haircut? The Mohawk?
And it will be 1st and 10. Minute 27 left to go in the half. At halftime, we'll have highlights, stats, and we may be able to look in on a couple of games.
Shaquem McCutcheon wide open with the one-hand catch. Oh,
it's
my goodness.
Thick boy season. Little huff, getting the first down.
Baby Joker with the block on JJ to have Shaquem hit a little hoof. Not Huss. Ain't no Huss in that young man. But that hoof definitely got him some yards.
I think you guys are bearing the lead. He just caught it one-handed. Smooth. Hurry up.
The snap. In trouble. Huff trying to cross over. Chased by Verardi towards the end zone. Out of play.
Where did he throw that from?
That hit the camera woman. It hit our photographer.
Well, and it's not a bad decision because it stops clock.
Hitting the photographer?
Sack. Well, specifically,
You monster.
no. That's not ideal.
Throwing the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, safely.
Okay.
He's outside the tackle box. There's a receiver relatively
Look at this. He sails it to him. He's wide open with the one-hand grab. Come here. Look at the block. Look at the block by Baby Joker. Bow! Great block. And he's like, hurf.
And if he doesn't see Q Bell coming after him.
He's going. Why would I want to picture Huff and Stereo on the same team?
Because maybe that's a Baltimore person talking about sharing the reps.
No, that's definitely Jazzy.
The snap, the handoff, play action. Verardi coming after Huff. Huff will throw it. That one knocked loose.
And again, you got to catch that. You're out there. You have to. Receivers' jobs are to catch the ball.
That's Ryan Rios, the intended receiver.
Got to catch that.
Even if you started at tight end and you thought you were only going to block in a play, you're playing with Huff.
Not with Huff. Everybody touches. Pause. Everybody
Especially
touches.
if your number's under 25 and you're on the line, you're a tight end. You're running a pass.
Oh, Nani, come on, man. You guys from Baltimore love me, and you're not being fair though, because we're watching two New Jersey teams, so we're talking New Jersey teams. Come on.
They want us to watch these two teams and talk about how Ace is better than everyone on the field. And Ace is pretty good this year. Ace looks crazy good this year.
And not to hide the lead, Baltimore Watchmen sit at number 1 right now.
You're right.
The snap. Huff in trouble. Will run out of bounds and try to throw it incomplete.
His pump fake slightly jukes.
Ace would have scored a touchdown.
They're gonna chew you up. It's satire. He's joking.
Ha-has. It's giggles. It's tee-hees. And in Nevada, the Kryptonite up 6-0 on the Pit Bosses. Pit Bosses getting a new coach in Coach Q.
A lot of big games today. The DC Buzz versus Snow Tribe. The loser in that game today is out of the playoffs. Completely out of the playoffs.
It's a playoff game.
It's
a winner go home
literally
game.
the first playoff game of the season. Whoever wins this game is in. Whoever loses, is out. That's it. This is the clinch game.
And we're talking about Baltimore. The Watchmen have a big game. Now, the Watchmen should be favored and likely are favored against the Renegades. But everybody that's played that team knows that that's not an easy game to go into. But let's be clear. I think that they do have the defense to stop the Renegades on offense, even though there's a lot of talent. And let's also be clear. I think what the Watchmen are able to do on offense consistently is
that's what's make
edge them out.
And that's why the Watchmen is sitting at number 1. That's why the Watchmen are the consensus most feared team in the Northeast right now.
And let's look at this here. We're over an hour and 15 minutes into this game. And we are only in the we're not even in the end of the half yet. We still have time left. I'm Matt Ryan. That's Corey Hammond. That's Corey Handsome on the end.
Why?
But guys, when we look towards this second half and towards the end of this first half, not only do the Animals have to get on the board, they have to act quick and get on the board. Behind the back.
There's no way that.
And it looks like the timeout was called.
Wow.
Or a flag. Something had happened to set that up.
Well, and this is such a big play right now because BIC gets the ball at half, and it was 4th and 10. So whatever the penalty is on, if it's on the Animals, they'll likely have to replay the down from 4th and 15. But to go behind the back, and that's Macho. He's technically an eligible receiver.
He's 100% eligible receiver.
But is he past the line of scrimmage when he throws it?
It's an illegal forward pass.
We'll see. An illegal forward pass. But I'm Matt Ryan, joined by Corey Hammond and Big Rob Fabian. At halftime, we'll have highlights for you. We'll have some stats, and we'll look ahead to our 4 o'clock game. As we said before, DC Buzz, Rahway Snow Tribe, win or go home. It is win or go home season in the A7FL.
The line of scrimmage is the 40.
Yeah, oh, yeah, he's past it. We definitely have a play clock. I don't know why you would think we don't. It's a 30-second play clock.
37 seconds now. The snap, the throw, and out of reach.
Huff literally overshoots it. That is a touchdown if Huff just that. Now that's one of the times that is a clear Huff mistake, rather than it touching your hands and you dropping it. That's a clear mistake on Huff.
Yes, but let's be clear, Huff is the one that creates that with the motion and the attack on the edge, because everybody knows that he's a threat to convert that 15 yards running. And a play that we've gotten used to him just making easily is still not an easy play, and he just misses it because that would have been a touchdown. Here's BIC hurrying to the line.
The throw caught on first
gracious.
Down. That's Ashante Worthy out of play, and that will be first down, and the clock will stop.
And they got the timeouts, I believe, so they're going to go, and they have the team to do it. They have the personnel to do it, and why not, guys?
And it is over in Columbus, and there's incomplete intended for Ole Bell, and that will be second down.
Q-Bell.
Q-Bell.
It's the Bell brothers.
So 29 seconds left in the half. You know Sterry Codrington is going to try to get this, and you see the 4 wide receivers out there are very dangerous, and the Animals better cover every single one.
And that's how they were able to set it up at the start of the first half. There you see money-making Mitch, who broke on a big play to set up that second touchdown for the Animals. Huff, you see Ashante Worthy at the top of your screen. You see Q-Bell at the bottom. The snap.
Codrington
with
rushes.
time, throws it deep. Caught.
Who is it?
That's Q-Bell looking for his third touchdown of the day.
Trey Cohen.
Bell, ring it, put 6 on the board, hits it with the layup, hitting them with that mixtape. And the BIC increased their lead.
And it wasn't even a question. Did anybody have a question if they can get it in time? I don't think you guys asked that, right? Because that was way more than enough time for BIC to do something.
Man, how does Q-Bell find himself open on every play? This is a good angle to see it, because you know what? You got to watch everybody on this field, and when you see Cohen go for the post, the man who's got that deep third, he just forgets about an all-time wide receiver in this league, and then because Cohen is just that type of player, secures the points.
And he took the hit on that, but he set it up so Q-Bell can get in the end zone.
And listen, I have high school coaches, college coaches that would want a full team of guys like Trey Cohen. He's selfless. He'll make the sacrifice. It's about the win for him, not about his stats.
It's about superstars. It's about that second ring on his finger.
It is.
Listen, we asked about you need superstars. No, what you need in this league is guys that have the potential to be superstars to make the plays for other guys, and BIC consistently does that, especially when they're winning.
4 wide receivers set, 3 on the line. Pardon me, 3 wide receivers set, 3 on the line. Codrington.
Oh, great blocking. My goodness.
He will ski into the end zone.
That was phenomenal.
And now it is a tough road to hoe, 36-13. BIC in the lead.
Wow, just like that, we had a 2-score game, and now it feels like it's way more than 3.
It's slipping.
And if you're watching the A7FL for the first time, and you're like, this is awesome, I want to talk about it, you can follow us and talk about us on social media. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and YouTube. If you want to see highlights that go viral like this one last week when we saw the Snow Tribe go get 1.2 million views on an insane Thick Boy season play. And you could be a part of that now. Search the A7FL on every social media platform. And we'll take a look at the replay here. Codrington just directing
traffic. Look at that block. Look at these blocks.
And this is where Sterry Codrington is unguardable, because he's waiting to throw it, and then just as a last resort is a guy who runs a 4.40, easy 2 points, which brings it to 21 points, and that's 3 scores plus. Because if the Animals want a shot back in this game, they're going to have to start converting those extra points
and
stopping BIC.
And if I'm the number one Baltimore Watchman, if I'm the U, I'm paying attention to the score differential of this game because it's getting out of hand. And
don't remind the U, I play them tonight.
Oh, thanks.
Shout outs to Ayote. Big time move mid-season because I think, one of the guys
definitely
in this league,
Ayote's move is huge.
Making a big play.
Ayote's move to the U is huge.
That was we saw that metastasize in the BIC game. It'll be there in the playoffs. Hulk plows through a defender, gets caught, loses his headband, and gets
who touches him first? Trey.
Because his speed, he might be one of the fastest players in the A7FL. Jamie Melendez also in on the tackle. There you see Alex Verardi.
What do you do, Rob, if you got Huff at quarterback, 15 seconds, some timeouts, but we saw how this could come to haunt them because it's what, 23 now? It could get worse.
The problem is not just a Huff at quarterback is probably something very advantageous for any team. The problem is who he's throwing it to. Right now, Lou Shiesty, in my opinion, is his best and most efficient weapon. After that, it's Joker, then Baby Joker, then Kenneth Stewart. It's not a great roster.
If you look at the bottom of your screen,
if you give those guys, if you give Lou Shiesty time, if you give Oye time, you give Baby Joker time, they're going to turn into something special.
Oh, for
and
sure.
How did he make that throw?
Because he's got that claw hand on. That's JPP
LaPera.
Wally Cleaver.
LaPera on
Remember last week he had that cast on, so I guess the hand's better.
The hand's better. Great catch.
And that will be the end of the first half. One half down, another half left to go. It is the A7FL Games of the Week. I'm Matt Ryan, joined alongside Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond. Your score 36-13, guys. We expected the BIC to dictate the pace of this game, but as we get into the second half, is this the BIC we've been waiting for all season?
Yes, indeed. I've been waiting for this BIC to show up the entire season. I've been waiting to see the former defensive rookie of the year show up. I've been waiting to see doing a phenomenal job, but it's the supporting cast of BIC. Guys like Big Moot, guys like JJ, guys like Tomeno. Those guys are way more important to the nucleus of BIC than people think. So it is the BIC I want to see. I want to see those guys that we're not used to seeing step.
These stats and these highlights, you just see on that first drive how hard Huff was working play in, play out. That's likely a script. That's likely what they've been working on preparing for this week. And you saw early in the game, Joker, the original Joker, not Baby Joker, the OG Joker, finding a way into the end zone and getting the extra point.
And Q Bell, who's having himself a day today, and
that was the start of it. And that's really what I think we've seen from BIC is they're going with the play action passes, and when you have to honor the run and cover those guys one-on-one, you see how difficult it's been for the Animals defensive secondary.
I mean, Q Bell could go on anybody's team and be a starter. He is on BIC as maybe the second or third option and still dominating.
Yeah, 6 touchdowns on the year if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and 3 of them coming today, right?
I'm likely mistaken, according to the chat.
But
basically
look at
all
Huff's
day.
Speed.
Huff's moving, like Huff's doing what he can. And again, terrible throw, but Huff's doing what he can. What more do you actually expect from the guy? He's doing what he can. We talked about this in the beginning of the season. There was a chance for them to go 5-2, being the 2 best teams that they play, they might lose to.
Well, and I don't think this game, last week's game, if the weather was great, could have been a question about Huff versus the U. But to me, this game was the Animals roster versus BIC's roster because Huff has come to play, and it's just you see the different level of talent across the board. Everyone on BIC, not that they're that much better than the top level of the Animals, but they're that much more experienced and that much better prepared to make the big plays when called upon. And that's the difference in this game right now. And this was the play right here from Huff that, how did the ball get through his hands?
He dials it up. We've seen it too many times. I've seen it blocking for him. So it's something that we just know he's able and capable of doing.
And you see this was a big play here to push it in, cut it back, and this is when the Animals are standing up to the big bullying BIC like, we are here, let's go. But then, here comes that man again.
You put Sterry back out there, let him dial it up, and look who he throws it to. Mama, there go that monster, head tap. I mean, someone said in the chat, who said BIC has 2 players? I think they're referring to something I said when I was like, BIC only had like 2 receivers. They added Q-Bell. Matt Riddick doesn't show up all the time. Phenomenal catch by Kyle Ward. They added Kyle Ward. BIC has at least 3 or 4 number 1 receivers on any other team. Any other team. Huff again with the one hand
such
throw.
An athlete.
Great block by Baby
Look
Joker.
at his juke. Nobody really wanted anything to do with him, and he was just giving them the easy play getting out of bounds. But here's Sterry Codrington.
I do respect your take. Look at that. Look at that. I do respect your take about superstars showing up.
Yes.
Guys like Baby Joker, guys like Sire Hancock, Duke, who's already an established guy.
But I'll say this. Cohen over here does not have to make this block.
Look at this.
He is the type of player that he's made enough big plays in this league that he doesn't have to sacrifice. But when he sees his man's got a chance at a touchdown, you got to give it to him.
Trey Cohen is one of those guys that I would love to always have on my team because he is the definition to me of what a winner is.
And that is the highlights of the first half, and bringing it in here.
And take a look at our stats here as we enter the first half. The BIC with 356 total yards, 220 passing yards from Sterry Codrington, 5 yards less than the amount of yards total from the Silk City Animals here in the first half.
And look, the yardage output from the Animals is definitely respectable
for
against
sure.
this
Oh yeah,
BIC
and against
defense,
any other
which is one of the
team.
top units in the league. But guess what? When your defense is allowing everything to go BIC's way, which is a real difficult ask if you're asking me, it's just not enough. That 195 yards from Huff is just to show how great of a player he is. But against the 220 that Sterry Codrington and co, because it's not just Sterry and Ashanti right now.
Oh no, it's
Kyle Ward,
their company.
it's Q-Bell, it's the offensive line making the blocks, it's Cohen down the field making guys, score plays that could have been, just tackled, and maybe the Animals can rally, but that's how this game has gone, and that's the separation, I would say, in the championship level of both of these rosters.
Q-Bell so far today, guys, 3 catches, 102 yards.
How many touchdowns?
3 touchdowns.
That's pretty efficient.
That's insane.
That's pretty efficient.
That's insane. If he was on your A7FL fantasy team today,
you'd be winning.
You're going crazy right now.
Also, if you had a 3-leg parlay where it had Sterry over 200 yards, you had 3 touchdowns for the BIC straight up and and 100 yards plus for Bell, you are cashing in on that one.
Sure,
That is a
and
big
early
win.
in that game, you saw him at tight end. If you have him on your fantasy team, and you're like, no, put him out a wide receiver, play action. Oh, touchdown! Yes, put him in at tight end.
Crazy, no. But again, this is what happens when you're able to put that many number 1 receivers on your offense.
And let's talk about a touchdown from Sterry Codrington that some people are saying was Sterry Codrington ripping the torch from Quattro Huffin. But here you see again Bell on the day.
Well, you see 2 guys go with Cohen, which is why one guy is completely wide open. But let's be honest, when you have to cover these wide receivers for more than the 5, 6, 7 seconds that they had to on that play, you're going to make a mistake eventually, and Sterry finds him.
That's a phenomenal play by Trey Cohen. I can't help but, that just completes the touchdown for me. What a great play.
And then just the layup in there.
That's
just
phenomenal.
Hitting them with that sweet little finger roll.
And for those math wizards, DJ Family Nation, those total stats also include return yards. When you're doing the math, it doesn't math, and that's okay. And we love our math whizzes out there. But you're just missing the one stat, and that's why it is correct. You just don't have all the info.
Yeah, April's only son, Trey Cohen, having a day. Not statistically, but in terms.
As far as
he's always going to make his impact felt. He's always going to make his impact felt.
He is a young player in this league, but he is a leader. You see that on the field, and it will be Umar Lewis returning the ball from inside the 15-yard line. Umar Lewis, 30-yard line for him, about a 15-yard or so return. Kenneth Stewart in on the tackle.
Kenneth Stewart fighting through this game, and you can see there's some point where he had some contact, so he's playing. and he's playing a tough team, but he's not backing down. Kenneth Stewart, has a couple of plays he might want back in this game, but I know that he's got a lot to say for the rest of the season because the Animals are going to need him to make some big plays, not only in this game, but likely.
And this is why, if I was on the Animals, I'm going to be honest with you, I would be very proud of my team for fighting, never quitting, because that's big. Against a team this good, you guys are fighting still. You guys are still being competitive. Listen, there's nothing but bright spots, in my opinion, for the Animals.
And
in the
then
future.
also facing off against the Renegades right now, no matter if they walk out of here with the loss, they're more than likely remaining the 4 seed. The handoff, cutting to the sideline, and that's the ice cream truck. The ice cream truck, no good humor. That ain't a Mr. Softy. That man is a brick house. Touchdown, BIC.
Pedro, it's your fault. Why'd you do it, man? Why did he do that? And speaking of K-Wack, who's the first man down there to celebrate with his Elizabeth friend, his Elizabeth native. Guys, I think I just saw K-Wack block 2 Animals with each one arm. It was the greatest seal that I've seen in a long time, maybe since a couple weeks ago when we saw number 76 for the U. Maybe take one of these guys. But look at the block in front of this run here.
I got to see this. Mark-Eye with a good block. K-Wack.
Great block. Takes out 2 men there with the 1 block, and then it's K's touchdown. Look at that line. 6 rushes, 102 yards, and that nice and creamy touchdown.
Nothing soft about that serve from Donnell Hubert getting into the end zone. 6 rushes today, over 100 yards rushing, 1 touchdown.
That's a strong man. It seems to be a slight debate, not necessarily a debate, but the conversation about taking the torch, passing the torch. In my humble opinion, I thought the torch was taken last year in the championship, or last season, period, when Sterry rallied his team to beat Huff 3 or 4 times in a row. So, the torch talked to me, excuse me. That's not it.
Slides and gets that one.
Who was that? I got a bald head. That's right. Cedric with the phenomenal catch. Yeah, Ced.
And is that a point? Because earlier in this year, we had the point in which the quarterback ran it in. But Sterry Codrington said, "Excuse me," and then pointed back.
Hit him with that leg.
I got a bald head. Let's go. He gonna
We absolutely are going to talk about the ball head when he's rubbing it. But what Sterry Codrington does, which is what you should not do as a quarterback. Watch him make a man miss.
Excuse me, sir.
What were you doing? To point, and then is able to find the open man.
He pointed at. How many points is that? What are we giving him?
What's a higher level?
This is game breaker. This is game breaker point stuff for me.
Excuse me,
bro. What are you doing? And then look, and then Cedric with the phenomenal body leaping catch. Look at that. Wow. Game breaker. This game is closer than kryptonite.
No.
And if you want to be like Sterry Codrington, you are a BIC fan today.
You have no chance.
Been converted.
Wake up from your dreams.
But
sir.
you can wear what
Friday.
they wear. You can wear the official apparel of the A7FL through our partner Squad Locker. Head over to a7fl.com/gear. That's a7fl.com/gear. Get right for the summer. It's a thick boy summer. You want to look good. Go to a7fl.com/gear. Ball gets bobbled. Opportunity.
That's the man, right?
That's man.
That's man.
Who's the first to him?
Again, Trey Cohen.
Who is there?
Jamie
What
Melendez
award
on
can
top
we
of
give Trey? There has
the
to be
only award that he wants is at the end of the season a championship for his team. So we don't need to give him anything other than the praise that we already have given him for the unselfish plays. But you see, down in, down out, that he's on the field, he makes an impact. Here's the extra point again, and these championship points are huge. So the Animals are trying to cut it close. They want a chance. They got to stop this. Well, this is just too easy for Sterry Codrington. Flicks it out there, and of course, Shedrick's going to just fly and catch it.
And then a scoring update in Nevada. It's 18-6 to Kryptonite leading the Pit Bosses at the end of
hurry up. Waits for no man, especially production.
The screen over to Baby Joker. Baby Joker will hold on to it. Baby Joker will plow through and get to the 44. It will be second down.
When you watch Baby Joker play, realize that you're looking at the future of this league.
Yeah.
Baby Joker and guys like that are what is going to catapult.
Zaire Hancock.
Those guys, those guys they're ready for it.
We were talking about this before the start of the game. The insurgence of 7-on-7.
Right.
At the high school level, the junior high level. we're seeing that more and more, and I think that's going to really advance the future of the A7FL, aside from all the great athletes we have now. Rob, when we look at this game, question coming in from Carlos Crosland, there's a lack of athletes on the Animals.
I agree.
It's not their athleticism and it's not their ability to play football in the situation. I think it's this championship level and the intensity of this game, because it's not just them playing against, a good team like the Renegades. It's them playing against the champs, and every position is a guy that's either as good or better than you at everything. So you got to raise your level, and here's Huff.
Huff will keep it. He will cut towards the sideline. Quattro Huffin will run it out of play at the 40-yard line. They'll get the first down. And this is the BIC team we were expecting all season long.
All season.
Seeing them almost fully staffed, at least fully staffed on defense.
Almost, though. Definitely
the snap,
almost.
And Huff again will roll out to his left. He will be met by defensive pressure through the hands and almost intercepted.
And that Huff hurry up, when he gets what he wants, he's able to put the defense on their back heels. But the third play in a row doesn't get what he wants, goes back against the grain, and is lucky it wasn't intercepted there.
And Kason Campbell's a guy I would not want picking off my quarterback.
We saw him go viral last year.
Yeah, we're talking. That's the. You know what I'm saying? That's all because
Mr. Sports Center
himself.
Yeah,
that's Mr. Sports Center. I like that name for him.
2nd and 10.
12:27 left to go. Matt Ryan joined by Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond in our first of 3 games of the week. Huff will take it. He is chased down. 248 yards of total offense. Add 10 more. He gets out of play at the 30. Looked like he got through there, and it will be first down.
Those are the type of gritty plays that Huff is going to need to make in the championship level playoff performance to beat these types of teams.
Because he's the only one at that level.
Well,
if we're being honest,
he has to make the defense commit to him running the ball, and that's one we saw in the fourth and 15 that he just missed. That's how he got a man that wide open, is them honoring him running the ball.
They have to respect Huff more than they respect the team.
A handoff on first down and brought down maybe a yard past the line of scrimmage. It will be 2nd down. That one handed over to Oye.
And Corey Price in the chat saying, "We are who we thought they are. Who we thought they were."
Hitting them with that Denny Green.
It's tough, man.
Interesting point from
in the inverse. When Denny Green said it, he was saying it in a negative. We are who they thought they were because, these are the champs.
And we saw Joker get 3 straight catches.
Are they going to look for him here?
Baby Joker in motion. Oye will split out wide. Joker will set up. They're just reconfiguring.
BIC is now, they've made the adjustments, and they've been communicating.
And Ferrari, no adjustments can stop that, man. And that one's backwards, and that one will get them further away.
That's definitely a flag.
They're going to call him down by contact before the ball was let go, but the sack still stands, and that's the difference between Verardi and a lot of guys in this league.
And Kenny Stansbury out there on the field too, number 74.
Kenny Stansbury, listen, don't let that size fool you. Kenny Stansbury's been in the gym for a solid 2 weeks and told me this might be his last hurrah. So he's out there working. And if I'm Huff and I look up and I see Verardi coming full steam and then Ole's the other guy, I'm just going to have a seat, man.
And where a lot of guys maybe make it to Huff in that situation, somehow Houdini Huff slips free.
I'm going to be honest, there's no one quarterback in this league that can get away from those 2 guys at that close proximity. No. It's hard to see that.
You're stuck in a tractor beam at that point. 3rd and 26. Huffin has made magic so far this season. Will he take back-to-back losses the same way he and the U did a year ago? Huff will throw this one, pop fly, intercepted.
Not him.
And that's Kason Campbell, Mr. Sports Center. Gets Thez pressed on the tackle, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the BIC.
And that's going to be an interception on Huff, but when he puts the ball there on 3rd and 26, your guy needs to make the play. Your guy needs to jump up for the pass. And Bebo's been making a lot of plays for Huff, but right there, when the ball's a 50-50 ball, he keeps running. Kason Campbell locates it and makes the interception. And although, you don't necessarily love it, here's
BIC wasting no time.
It's a free play.
Codrington
he set that up.
This one up.
My goodness.
And that one just out of reach of Ashante Worthy.
Yeah, BIC wasting absolutely no time. And
that was
the play again.
And there was some.
Here's the throw.
If you took a look at the line,
when you put the ball there for your receiver, he's got to come back to it and jump. You see, when
he's
the ball's
not as
in the air,
as
you got to get it,
and
that's not a man that's going to drop it.
We got to remember, Kason Campbell is a wide receiver turned corner. Turf Monster got him. That's what happened. Wide receiver turned cornerback who has great tracking of the ball. that you're not going to win 50-50 balls against him. Pause. You're not going to win that. So that's not. He's going to turn out to be one of the most threatening corners in this league.
Yeah.
When people actually start throwing the ball in his direction.
But when you see what Huff has to do to even get the ball out of his hands, he's making men miss, running, corralled on the sideline, giving his team a chance on 3rd and 26.
Ayote, I definitely agree with the jersey situation, but you do realize everyone is in control of the size of jersey they wear. It's not like the league says, hey, get bigger jerseys so you can get grabbed. No, like, you get to order your own size, and these guys,
it is no longer 2004. We do not need to wear baggy jerseys in public anymore.
At all. I used to wear baggy shorts under jeans.
What was your white tee size, Rob? 5X?
Like 6X, bro. 6X
they
white
don't even
tee.
carry that.
Looks like you're wearing a nightgown at that point.
I mean,
2nd and 10, 1st and 5 after the penalty. Codrington on the play action.
Oh, goodness.
Defender gets slipped up. He'll head towards the sideline. Will Codrington. He dips back, somehow stays behind the line of scrimmage. He throws it to the sideline. That's Bell, and he catches it for a first down at the 41.
And he's met after the catch, but Bell's not the kind of guy that drops that.
Yeah, Bell is Mr. Sure Thing. Yeah, his hands are guaranteed.
And we talked about torches. That was a Huff play if I've ever seen one. Sterry was dead to rights against the sideline. Hesitation move. Finds the open man downfield. Watch out for the Maryland special. I'm starting to do my count.
You always have to do your count.
Oh no, that's a guy holding the chains there.
It'll be 1st and 10. 9:07 left to go in the 3rd.
You're right, mathematicians. I am bad at math.
The handoff to the ice cream truck. He has been running with impunity today, and he doesn't get the first down, but he gets 9 yards on that one. A big day for Donnell Hubert, an Offensive Player of the Year candidate in the past.
Oh, for sure.
And we've seen him break off some huge runs. He's gone viral before. Looking to have a day on the stat sheet. It'll be 2nd and 1.
Well, he may be better, but I don't know if it's as fun to see him trucking people as it was once upon a time, but he's definitely effective today. And look,
if you go back to his touchdown, the jingle is actually right as Matt is saying touchdown. It actually flows well. It's like Matt's rapping. You're going to like it. You're going to enjoy
bars.
it. Yeah.
It's me, Snow, Chingy, the great rappers of our day. Codrington in trouble, trying to make it. He's looking like a Houdini out there to the sideline. That's to the ice cream truck.
That's too much.
BIC with the touchdown.
That's too much.
And normally an ice cream truck will put up that stop sign and have kids to stop. This time,
he threw up the peace sign.
It's like
straight
Sweet Tooth and
to the face.
It's Sweet Tooth and Twisted Metal.
Oh man, I used to love that game.
Shout outs to the show coming out starring Anthony Mackie.
Ayote with basically saying that they're going to wear Ezekiel Elliott jerseys, belly jerseys now just to show off
wearing
some skin.
Crop tops like it's 85.
We will get kicked off of networks if we show that much skin.
We love thick boy season in the A7FL, but that's ridiculous.
9 out of 10 times, even against Sterry Codrington, that should be a sack based on what he was facing. We talk about straight jackets and phone booths. Look at this.
Just look at this. Look.
I won't talk. As Carlos Crosland said, I have nothing to say about athleticism.
Look at this. Look at that.
I could never do any of this here.
I could, but I don't want to.
Excuse me.
Just how he's able to know where his receivers are, have control of his body, and get that placement in there.
Great block.
And Ashanti Worthy finishing up the play by making sure the block is there.
And just look at him in this pocket. He pump fakes, has him jumping. Oh, yeah, they're right back to it. Please give the ball to – okay.
Out of the hands of Dwan Williams.
And a two-point attempt missed there. And Dwan is going to take a long walk.
And he'll say what's up to the Patterson U, who are playing a little bit later on today. 50-13 your score. And if you want to bring your team to your town, if you're thinking, oh, we can beat these guys, we're in Miami, we're in Atlanta, we're in Dallas, we're in Austin, we're where football really comes from. Well, think about it and then pony up. Let your money and your skills do the talking. Go to a7fl.com/owners. Go to a7fl.com/owners. Hearing a lot of rumors about 2024. So if you want to be the one who brings your team to your town, and you want to go up against this man, Donnell Hubert, you want to go up against Sterry Codrington, go to a7fl.com/owners. Throw up the peace sign to your competition and bring the A7FL to your town. I'm Matt Ryan, joined by Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond. We are live at Asbury Park Stadium in Asbury Park, New Jersey. It'll be an opportunity now for number 21 to return the ball for the Silk City Animals and try to score for the first time for this team in the second half.
And we know how good this Animals team is. We've been talking about it all year. The 37-point swing is just to show you how good BIC is.
He stepped out of bounds.
And they will call it.
When Man's out there returning kicks, he's just out there to punish somebody on the other team.
He used to be fast.
Now, if you're the Animals right now, the score is really wide, and you got to think about how you're going to get back on track. Ever since they scored their 13th point and kind of cut it 22-13, it's just been all downhill momentum from here. But if you're Huff, you got to figure out how to get your guys feeling confident enough to drive on a defense like this. They put up the numbers. They've had the great drives in the first half, but in the second half, it's been all BIC. And honestly, if I were Huff, in which Huff knows a lot more than me about winning games, but I would maybe slow it down to make sure that every play my guys are executing to make sure that they're doing the right things, get the right habits, because this is not going to be the end of the Animals season here. Yes, they wanted to win this game, but they have a lot more important football to come, even if it doesn't turn out the way they wanted to here.
It'll be 1st and 10.
To answer Carlos Crosland, the most points you can score in a game in A7 is as many points as you can score in 3 quarters.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
If you're up by 6 scores.
6,
Are
I
you
think it's
asking
7.
for a specific reason,
It's
Carlos?
7.
Why
7
potentially play tonight?
7 scores. If you're up by 7 scores by the 4th, game's over.
Yeah.
Mercy rule.
And we saw that happen in Ohio earlier today. We've seen that happen a few times this season. Baby Joker gets past Ferrari, gets to the 41 and brought down.
And he takes a licking.
And what would
He
be
keeps on ticking.
And what would be a good forward momentum play for the Animals if it didn't end in a huge hit turns into another situation where BIC is just building momentum.
And I would love to say who made the hit. He's number 51, wearing my old number, but his name is not on the roster that I currently have. So I don't know if you guys can check to see if you see a 51 out there, but he was responsible for that hit. And now I think he's feeling it. Yeah, he's feeling it. I don't know.
So Nameless with the great play there.
Deion Davis says hi to Corey Hammond in the chat.
I'll see you later, my guy.
And the birds are out here. Are they seagulls or are they vultures looking to pick the bones of the teams who fall victim to a loss today? That'll be yet to be seen. Huff on 2nd down. That one thrown deep and caught by Kevin Stewart. The young bull showing that he is it for the moment. He is him. He is the young bull. One-handed grab and gets it to the sideline, but they have to keep that momentum going.
Okay.
And I don't have much to teach a guy, but one thing I know from playing with Kenneth Stewart that he's not going to do is back down from a fight, whether he's got whether he's got the bruised eye, where he's got to go out if it was a boxing match or not. He's out there to make some plays.
Wow, phenomenal catch by Kenneth Stewart.
He's down, but he is certainly not out.
That's
And
the
he's
potential
tight
of a
coverage
guy.
at the bottom of your screen.
Starting to feel like a big
Shiesty.
Canelo fight. Lou Shiesty with the 2-yard reception. Let's take a look at the replay.
That. Great blocking up front.
Let's look at the placement of the ball here.
My
This is just a handoff.
goodness. And look at Kenneth
Hand it
Stewart.
off right to the breadbasket.
Phenomenal catch by Kenneth Stewart. That's the potential he has.
And that's tight double coverage. Look at Shaquem McCutcheon at the top of your screen ready for a play.
Off the screen, Huff in trouble.
Oh.
Throws it intended for McCutcheon, but that one will go way out of play.
Intended for the spirit of McCutcheon.
Well, look, we know what McCutcheon can do. He had that one-handed catch earlier today, so you throw a jump ball up to him, you see what happens.
That is a fun. And if a guy like Joel Rivera from the U is impressed with your catch,
Yeah.
that's a catch.
One of the more legendary receivers in this league, a guy who's made highlight after
Oh, my
highlight
goodness.
catch in this league.
Yeah.
One of my favorite catches from Joel Rivera. He catches the ball. He catches the ball on 2 people. They all fall. He sits on them, gets up, and scores a touchdown. One of the greatest catches I've seen in this league.
2nd and 2. They have to get to the 20-yard line.
Oh.
The handoff to Oye. Oye going Oive, and he's pushed back behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down.
And with Huff basically running some form of play action, whether he's attempting to run himself or he's actually going with the play fake every single offense play, you do have to call those run plays. And here's the throw again.
It's just
look at the
a great
off-balance
catch.
throw. He's got Olay about to push him down to the
Huff
ground.
looks, it's a no-look throw. Huff looks away after the throw. He spins around after the throw.
That's insane.
That's
nuts, bro.
That's the old. I'm about to get sacked. I'm gonna get in a good position.
I know that's what it looks like for you, Corey.
The
I think he
bailout.
actually spun around, bro. He did a 360 or something. That's
Huff
nuts.
is different.
It'll be third down. The snap, the handoff. No, Huff will throw it out of reach of the receiver. Tried the play a little pitch and catch, and it will be third.
That's been a
fourth down.
consistent play call that they go. They go the crack motion. They roll away from all of the receivers, and it's all of a trail concept.
Because
and the only way to really stop that is you corral the quarterback and you get in his face. He tries to throw the underhand pass to get it to them.
Because what is BIC really saying? Hey, beat us with your team, man. We're going to cover you. Have your team beat us. And it's a great game plan at this point.
And right now at 4th and 3.
An opportunity here on fourth down. 4 wide receivers, 2 on the line. Quattrell Huffin all alone. He'll add someone to the line. Huff will run it. He will get to the 20. He will get the first down. He will run out of play at the 15. Talking to Kason Campbell all the way out.
And that's that same look. They start out in a really wide 4 wide, and then they all basically converge into a double tight. Huff takes it, runs option. You gotta get the first down there, but you see he's a little frustrated because he wanted to throw it downfield. He just doesn't have the opportunities. Because guess what? A7 basically a lot of times goes down to one-on-one matchups, and the wide receivers have to win those matchups.
Indeed.
Quads at the top of your screen, you're going to see some kind of motion.
Watching the slot.
Look at
Bebo.
who's rushing Huff right now. There's 3 guys.
Oh, goodness.
Burton's one of them. Jamie Melendez, Ole Bell. One of those guys is coming free.
Who do you let come in free?
The snap, in trouble. Huff will roll out to his left. He is being hunted, and he is being captured. Knocked loose. There will be a flag on the play.
And they're going to call him down by contact, but the sack by Ole Bell.
Man is in his talent bio. It just says GOAT. Just 4 letters, all caps, GOAT. And a GOAT level play there. And as we see players from across the league watching this game, we take a look quickly across the league in terms of score. And for the Pit Bosses, it is another rough day at the office as they are down in the second quarter, 32-6.
A little bit more fight than we usually see from them, though. So.
Shouts out to the Pit Bosses for
especially
keeping things together. We won't get into anything. Shouts out to those guys going through the adversity that they're going through. I'm with you guys. I'm rocking with the Pit Bosses.
And the O-Town Orange still up on the Ghost 25-7. The handoff, that's to Oye. Oye pushing, and he will be brought down at the 24-yard line, and it will be second down after the penalty.
And that may be a setup play there because they go real big, 5 men on the line, and then they go hurry up.
Play action, Huff in trouble, chased down, after the sack. That one incomplete.
And Verardi had him by the jersey. Huff was still upright, and that's why he's able to get it off, but Verardi all over him there, and he'll bring up 3rd and 19.
Time continuing to wind down. The Animals with all 3 timeouts. They're down by a significant margin, but can find a way to make this game a little tighter.
Which is what they really need to be looking to do right now, because that point differential is going to end up hurting other teams. And if you want to, oh wow.
Waiting for a whistle on a dead ball. Huff will throw it, and that's off the hands of the receiver. Flag on the play anyway.
It's a frustrating day for not only Huff, guys necessarily sitting next to me looking at me in the face.
They got to catch that, Corey.
And they should. And it's all that Huff can do is to give his guys a chance, and that's what we really talk about in this game. Last week was about Huff versus TU. This week for me was the Animals roster versus BIC roster.
Indeed.
And right now, that's where you look at the point differentials. The 37 points is probably a reasonable spread, if we're being honest.
Huff has been sacked 4 times today. 2 times by Bell, 2 times by Verardi.
Doesn't sound like that's far-fetched. Definitely makes sense to me.
And even though he's only been sacked the 4 times, every single play there's been some type of pressure that he's had to dealt with.
The snap,
like
Huff
this play.
Greek Beast.
in trouble
Greek
again.
Greek Beast.
Verardi, and Huff will get rid of it on 3rd down. It will be 4th and 14.
And what Huff's trying to do is he's trying
Another
to run back
flag
and
on the
forth and
play.
make something happen. Ineligible. He's throwing it to guys that are not eligible. Santisteban Making sure.
Did he just sun that
He
man?
petted him. He pet him.
Big Mook is one of those guys that can do that.
He
and not
named
really
him
worry
George.
about
He
the
loved him.
consequences.
Listen, Big Mook caught a grown man that caught a pass in midair.
And could have returned it for a touchdown. The man, not
yeah,
the ball.
the
The man with the ball.
We had a lengthy debate about if Big Mook was allowed to return that man because he caught him midair.
He should have been able to, but it's not legal.
The whistle would have blown anyway.
It's over, right.
It'll be 4th and 34. Huff will be going in the air raid offense. If you played blitz as a kid and you hit the Hail Mary button, this is that. Huff. Not a lot of time. Will have to get on his bicycle. He will throw a pop-up. That one brought down incomplete. They'll call it maybe an interception, but a flag on the play.
See what the play is. He did release the ball relatively close to the line of scrimmage. I don't know if that's going to be the call.
And Andrew Alexis with the perfect question. What the huff is going on right now?
Well,
yikes.
We asked the question in the pregame, will these young players that play alongside Huff be ready for the spotlight? Be ready for the glare of playing against a fully staffed BIC team?
I mean,
the BIC respected the Animals heading into today.
They don't now because they're calling hurry up. Free play.
And no, they'll whistle it. They'll whistle that play dead.
The beauty about running into a team like the Watchmen, the BIC in the regular season is you played them already.
Yeah.
So the hard part is over. You played them, you lost, whatever the situation is. Now you get back out there, you might see them in the playoffs. Again? This happened again?
Sterry will just throw it this time. That's caught.
That's Trey Cohen.
That's Trey Cohen, one of the fastest.
I need a touchdown. Yes, sir. Bye.
Oh, he went through the legs.
Slip, slide, do the front flip for style, and then the coordinated handshake. Touchdown, BIC.
And if there's anybody else that deserves a touchdown more than that guy, I don't know who it is.
And if he's going to block and he's going to make all those glue guy plays.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, man.
Go
High
crazy,
stepping
man.
from the 23-yard
Gotta
line.
love it. That's what this game's about, man.
That is what this specific
April's only
game is
son
about.
putting an LT on him.
Let's go.
As it's 56-13.
That's tough. That's tough. That replay is going to be crazy. Look at this.
Let's see again on the replay.
And this was a free play, and that's why he's so wide open, is because the Animals aren't ready, because they were offsides. There was a flag, and then some of the guys were like, "Oh, the play's over."
What are you doing?
Well, Sterry Codrington knows that it's not. And
hello, my baby.
23-yard
Hello,
line.
my honey.
Get
Hello, my
all
right
Look at the between the line. Bro, you know how many all-star points that is, game-breaking points that is right there? That's phenomenal.
And they will go for 2 from the 10.
And after this extra point, let's talk about where the Animals now sit.
And they will throw a dart, and that one's out of play. He
gives him a loving hug at the back of the end zone.
A respectful embrace.
There's CJ.
And it is the LT game for the BIC of 56-13 here in the third.
Woo.
Ejecting on that sentence, I'm Matt Ryan, joined alongside Corey Hammond and Big Rob Fabian. Again, just right into the hip pocket, just right there.
Look at how calm and confident he is on this. Boy, get off me.
And the effort from our guy from the Animals trying to make the play, but that's a man who's been hungry for a touchdown for himself basically all season.
That's a dangerous young man.
He makes
Look at
plenty
this
of
flip.
great plays
No
with that
hand,
athleticism.
foot. My goodness.
If you're going to get a touchdown, up
You're gonna
50, up 40, you might as well make it worth it at that point.
And if you missed that play, subscribe to the Instagram, subscribe to the TikTok, subscribe to the YouTube now. Like, comment, subscribe. And you're going to want to see that one again and again and again. Rod the Rebel's going to get that one up for us by the end of this week. And 3-on-1 attempt here. Kenneth Stewart.
Oh, my.
Ball comes loose, and that one ends up in the hands of the BIC, and they will get the ball back.
No rain, no monsoon,
and
no.
He goes for the hustle, and obviously they're going to go a little bit too far.
Man.
They're having a little bit too much fun, in my opinion. It was a great play from Jamie Melendez to basically square up, make the great tackle.
That's a phenomenal tackle.
But as Kenneth Stewart goes for the juke, he mishandles the ball, and it's just a great play from another guy.
Rob, you said there's no rain, but he saw his reflection in the snow-covered hill, and the landslide brought Kenneth Stewart down on that one.
Looked him right in his eyes.
And what I said was after that two-point conversion, I was going to ask where these Animals.
That's a great tackle.
Oh, Jamie Melendez.
I'm almost a little upset about the form on that because of where his head
Phenomenal
was.
tackle. No, he put his head right in the right spot.
Well, he hit him with the shoulder first, which is the way that
that's
you put
phenomenal. That's phenomenal.
And shout-outs to deities in the chat.
It is the BIC with the ball I feel like we're all shocked by reading the chat right there.
I mean, if they're not the one or there's only 2 teams in Vegas that make enough noise to even, you guys know what's going on.
Well, let's say this. Let's say this. We could talk about the top of the top 10 because we have plenty of things to talk about here. It's 1st and 10 for BIC. Once again, it felt like it just was, and it is again. It's deja vu all over again. Here's Sterry Codrington.
Codrington snaps.
No reason not to throw it again. Umar Butter-Lewis.
Slip slide out of reach, and there's a flag on the play.
Just missed him. And you see all smiles for BIC.
2 or 3 Vegas teams that can beat the Animals? I only see 2.
Yeah, I'm not
I don't know
necessarily
about a
sure
third.
about that.
Well, and shout-outs to, I'm assuming that's Tim Marshall, Sin City Govs, not an A7FL team, somehow getting him in there.
It's 38-6 in Nevada.
I think, oh, wow, I think after this score, please.
If they score here, we might be in the mercy rule range. The throw by Codrington. Caught! Head top! Head top! Touchdown! Throwing up the fist!
And if you don't hear that,
on,
that's
guys.
Rob. That's a little bit too far, in my opinion.
Come on, guys.
But guess what?
You know
The Animals wanted to be on the stage. They've been talking like they are the team to beat in this division for a while.
There was supposed to be a funeral today. They said there's supposed to be a funeral today.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And burying any hopes of a comeback here, the Animals not looking good here.
And what teams from other divisions will say as they look at the final score for this is, what happened to how good the Animals are? Well, when it rains, it pours. And rain comes from the sky, and that's a thunderstorm of epic proportion because the first one he threw to Omar Butter-Lewis, who was wide open in the end zone, he misses. So why not just go back to him?
Unsportsmanlike conduct after the play.
And BIC's fine with that. You know, have fun.
This is the BIC that won the championship last year.
This is the BIC I've been waiting for since the beginning of the season.
And this explosion of points is them getting their swagger back. And I don't know if you guys see at the bottom of your screen, Louis V. Bonnet or not, that's Burton at wide receiver.
The penalty will be assessed on the
and
throw-off.
It's CJ covering.
CJ's covering him.
Who's an athlete. Don't get us twisted.
Codrington, the throw.
That's
Bonnet
big,
Burton.
Listen, that's big Bonnet Burton for them. That's triple B's right there.
Protecting the waves, protecting the curls, and putting 2 points on the board.
And for me, TBS is a shoulder-to-hip ratio. Burton's got wider shoulders than he's got hips, so he's not a full TBS.
So you definitely took a look at his hips to make sure, right?
Oh, come on.
I'm asking.
Sure.
It's an honest question.
We're going to swivel right here at the hips.
Great throw, great catch.
To quote a late, great golfer, it's all in the hips. It's all in the hips. And it is 64-14.
Shout out to Chubbs Peterson for those who are not cultured and have not seen Happy Gilmore.
And here's the truth of the matter. Well, Matt, talk to us for a second.
It's 64-13. I'm Matt Ryan, joined by Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond. And that one, a highlight reel game from this BIC offense. This is the team we've been waiting to see all season long. And if I'm watching this and I'm any team in the A7, especially heading into the playoffs, I don't want to
see BIC. No, I wouldn't want to see BIC.
No one wanted to anyway, but now for all of the doubters that were saying things like, oh, well, this isn't the BIC from last year.
And when
Vegas.
we hear rumors
Wrong.
about Tampa and guys with NFL pedigree.
Yeah. I don't even want to hit it.
Let's say this. This is what I said to a guy from over there. And Matt Ryan, we're on the same timing because I agree with you. But since they haven't shown up yet, we're not going to talk about it.
It ain't even that. It's
until they're ready to actually get on an A7FL field, we will not talk about you and give you publicity because you don't deserve it because you haven't played yet. Now, if they do, though, we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that. I don't want to put any there's fear in my heart for people. I left for a reason, all right? I'm going. And have fun with this.
Despite Big Rob Fabian being retired, Corey Hammond will be in our 7 o'clock game. Me and Rob will be on the call for that one. This one caught by Bebo. Bebo will get to the 45.
Excuse me, Dawn.
Hits him with the Huss. And that submarine trying to find a way to the 50 gets brought down at the 46. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Animals.
I mean, again, teams that are watching this that are not the Watchmen, the U, or BIC, that are looking like, oh my God, the Animals are easy. This is
Nightcrawlers.
Yeah, the truth of the matter is the Animals are not this easy.
No.
BIC is just that good. The U is just that good. The
And
Watchmen
everybody
are
knows
just
that plays
good.
football, that the momentum is a real thing.
Facts.
And once you start trying to play catch up on the offensive side, when you're the Animals, you're putting your quarterback in a position where the defense knows it's likely going to be Huff all the time. And
an
time
interesting
out from
thing,
BIC.
a lineal A7FL champion right now is the Baltimore Watchmen.
Yeah, right.
Because the Watchmen beat the U,
Right.
who beat the
BIC,
BIC, but the
who
Watchmen
then
beat the BIC before they lost to the U, and before the U lost to the Watchmen.
Right.
All right, it's very easy to confuse me, as everybody that's listening
I
knows.
felt the
And
air leave your soul when he said that. I'm like, oh yeah.
All I know is
I
that
have to
as
go
we-
to the whiteboard on the other side of the camera, start doing diagrams.
Yeah, if
Oh.
you're talking
Get a
about a football
PowerPoint.
play, I think I'll be good. But whatever you just said and all the math and all the complex, inter-species webs there in that genus pool, I don't know. I've been watching too much YouTube.
The snap,
Oh, unhandy,
money-making
sir.
Mitch, pushing through,
Ooh.
getting past the 50, brought down at the 49. It'll be second down.
Tackle
Little
made
assist.
by Duke and
A little
KC
assist there
Fantasy.
from Duke, too, because he kind
Right.
of picked him up, got him that extra 2 yards.
Oh, two big shout-outs in the chat. Shout-outs to the Crossing Minds podcast. Hi, honey. How are you? And shout-out to Mama Wack.
Mama Wachter out there.
K-Wack's mom. How
One
are
of-
you?
one of my favorite people in the A7.
As we approach Mother's Day. And
Oh,
here's-
why?
And it's rough out there in Vegas.
Oh, my
44-6, the
goodness.
Kryptonite in the lead.
And as we see the Animals, they're going to be fighting here. They're looking to drive. They're looking to change this point differential. Where do they go in the top 10?
The throw
listen.
by Huff
Ooh.
almost intercepted. It
Yeah.
will be fourth down.
That's a conversation I'm not even ready to have.
That's gonna
right now.
be
I
at
will.
the end of the night when we're on the way back home and we're all on the phone.
I know a team from Vegas that right now,
Carlos Crosland. Carlos Crosland is actually a very funny guy.
Carlos Crosland asking Mama Wachter
I
if
feel
his
bad
son
for
can
guys.
stop holding in the chat, and that's the end of the third quarter.
I'm not a mathematician, but that might be the end of the game.
Sterry Codrington today.
51 at the end of 3
Oh, it's GG's.
is more than 7
Oh, it's
touchdowns.
GG's. That is
That
game.
is it.
at
It's
the
over.
half. It's at the midline. Good game, good game, good game, and that is not what we expected from this game for sure.
And our final score here from Asbury Park, 64-13. But this stat line coming in
I
from
see it on
David
Matt's
Soberman.
phone. It's ridiculous.
Sterry Codrington, 16 of 24.
Just hear it, Rob.
387 yards.
Wait.
Oh my God.
7 touchdowns.
7 tuds?
3 2-point conversions.
Yeah.
10 scores. He scored in scoring situations. He scored 10 times today.
And this is the BIC that I think we talked about all
Indeed.
off-season, coming into the season, saying
This is
they
the
weren't going to
BIC.
lose.
You're going to pull my receipt saying
Yep.
that they're going to be the champs. This
Because
is the BIC I was talking about.
even that great U team with the Miller brothers at offensive line, I don't know if they would be able to keep up with the output that the BIC offense put out today. Because when you get touchdowns from Q-Bell, I'm pretty sure not Ashanti Worthy in the passing game, which is crazy, but Trey Cohen.
Also,
Ashanti ran one in himself. Umar Butter Lewis. I mean, what do you do? Those are wide receivers 2 through 5.
there's
making
more, by the
huge
way.
plays.
1 rushing touchdown, and there you
Yeah,
see the
so
pass
8 total
yards.
touchdowns.
640 total yards today. That includes returns and reception yards for this BIC team that looks unbeatable right now. And Scooter Hamilton,
He chimed in the chat, and he's seeing something which, again, Scooter, we spoke personally, and I told you that's what a lot of Vegas guys do.
and let me read his comment for those who are going to be watching this after the fact. Silk City looked extremely underwhelming, especially defensively, only rushing 1 to 2 guys.
Indeed.
Giving Codrington 35 seconds to throw is wild, which is interesting seeing how defenses in Nevada play.
Right, because that's how most of them play. Not his team,
No.
not the top teams.
But the teams that he plays against?
They play like that.
Yeah. And shout-outs to Scooter Hamilton, who has proven to be not only the best quarterback his team, which was a question going in because there's some pretty good quarterbacks on his team, including his wide receiver Munch, who came in and played pretty well this season, but likely in the conversation for one of the best quarterbacks in this league. But I will say this, as Vegas continues to talk and talk and talk, because they love to, this is not as easy as you thought it was going to be, because the Animals are not as bad as that 51-point spread looked, because I will say this, as we likely will talk about this upcoming week, how sick would it might be ranked above this Animals team. I have not seen a collective defensive unit from the Vegas division. Now, there's a lot of film out there that has been perused very quickly, on mute, trying to get through it, right? But has Vegas played a guy like Huff?
No.
And although we were talking about the Animals and the rest of their roster, this spanking, after last week's spanking, now that we're putting it into the books, those guys are likely going to grow. And now they've been in the moment.
100%.
They've made the mistakes. And when you make a mistake, you have two choices. You could either lose or learn. And if the Animals learn from this, they're going to be an extremely tough out
with a leader like
these playoffs.
With a leader like Huff, they're going to learn.
I wouldn't be surprised if these two
learn.
teams play again, and it's a lot closer. By the
And
end.
when we see them play potentially the Renegades, as of right now, they are still the 4 seed in the A7FL. They fall to 4-2. The Renegades play the Watchmen today in D.C. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out for them. We're going to take a timeout. We're going to let you guys relive the game. We're going to take a break on our end, and when we come back, we'll wrap this game up, and we'll send things out to Vegas as the Kryptonite are playing the Pit Bosses. We're going to talk some highlights, but that's Rob Fabian, that's Corey Hammond, I'm Matt Ryan. Let's relive this one. The BIC with the win, 64-13 here in Asbury Park. We'll be back in a moment. You're looking live again at Asbury Park Stadium in Asbury Park, New Jersey. I'm Matt Ryan. Your final score 64-13. The Trenton BIC getting a mercy rule victory over the Silk City Animals. The BIC will go to 5-1 on the season and look to lock in that second seed. The Animals will fall to 4-2 with one more game on the schedule when we're back in 2 weeks. We're off next week for the Mother's Day holiday. We will be back in 2 weeks on the 21st with our final week of regular season action. At the top of the hour, it'll be the DC Buzz taking on the Rahway Snow Tribe, a win-or-go-home situation. It's already playoff football. You saw that energy. You saw the staffing today from the BIC. An impressive result by them. But we're going to throw things over to the Silver State right now. It's 44-6. The Kryptonite on top of the Pit Bosses. Well, it's 64-13. We will jump to Vegas in just a moment. If not, we will be back with you at the top of the hour right here on DAZN and A7FL.TV. As the BIC get the win, it'll be the Snow Tribe taking on the DC Buzz, and then at 7 o'clock, it'll be the Patterson U taking on the Boston Omegas, and in Las Vegas, the Vegas Force taking on the Over the Top in a battle for a playoff spot, battling for playoff positioning. Both of these teams 3-2 on the season, and will look to try to make something happen here late in the season. The former A7FL Nevada Division champions taking on the first-year OTT team, looking to prove themselves, but on the back of Savion Cunningham, one of the most dynamic returners in the entire league, sharing space with Lavish T, Tyre Edwards, who has had an impressive season himself for the Sick with it. And whether or not these guys will be able to walk into the playoffs with a better record than their opponent, it's going to be a huge indicator tonight in our 7 o'clock game. A double bill tonight. We are wrapping up here in Asbury Park. We will be back at the top of the hour. Your final score, 64-13. For Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond, I'm Matt Ryan. We'll see you at the top of the hour. The BIC marching towards the playoffs, and so are we here on A7FL.TV.
This has been a broadcast of the American Sevens Football League. Like, follow, and share on our Facebook page at A7FL TV.